Need a wig day. Oh, here he comes. Here he comes. This is not a drill. Not a drill.
Hey, what's up? What's up, PFT?
What's happening, baby? All right, welcome back to Macrodosing. I'm your host, PFT. In the studio, we got PFT, and of course, we got PFT, and then in the back, we got PFT. So, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen.
For those audio only, we are all currently wearing a PFT-like costume in celebration of his hair growth journey. And we are starting the show a little bit early, because he has no idea. So when he walks in here, we want to get his raw, honest reaction, similar to when we got the Arian Foster t-shirts.
that took a little while.
That was actually hilarious.
This will be harder to miss.
Yeah,
so you may have 10 minutes of just us.
Yeah, it's gonna be 10 minutes just us. Depending on how poignant he is. If he wants to be early for work, it could be faster. But if he's gonna be late, then blame him.
He's technically in the building right now, so it's just when he decides to come in.
Yeah, he's in the building. So we all have blonde wigs and sunglasses on.
Yeah.
And so we're celebrating the new growth. A metanoia, if you will, for those people that love new words out there. There's a good one for you. Metanoia, a new growth. Mine is probably more on point. Y'all got a little mullety.
Yeah, this is the best I could do on Amazon in the time constraints.
Short notice. It was a short notice for sure. And for whatever reason, dog, when I was ordering my wig, like wigs are like, it's a process to order. It's not just order the wig. Like why is it so hard to order wigs? Like it's not like overnight. Like there's always something.
I was trying to look for like overnight wigs on Amazon Prime, and my options were limited. And I was nervous because if it said Wednesday arrival, I didn't want it to be after we recorded. So I had to act quick. It was tough to find a good wig. I also feel like the mullet represents new growth, though.
I like it. Yeah,
like short on top.
Yeah, on top. Yeah, because we need on top. The other thing is I accidentally ordered two. Because the first mullet I ordered, it said it was gonna be here the same day, and then like I said, there's always something wrong. And then they hit me with an email saying it's not gonna arrive till Thursday, and I'm like, oh shit! So I ordered another one. It's a whole different brand, and that one came when it's supposed to. But they hit me. I was like, oh, we got it shipped anyway, so it came on time anyway. So I got two, but I'm glad this one came. So this is the second one I had. The first one I had bangs, dog. Them shits was getting in my face. I was like, I can't do this one.
Was that like expensive? That looks like a good wig.
Yeah.
I was like $50. Is that it?
What?
Okay.
These were $18.99.
Oh.
No, yeah, yours looks good.
Yours is high quality.
That's why I'm slaying right now.
Yeah, you are.
Ariana.
Ariana Slayington.
That's why I'm fucking killing this shit, man. Do we know anything about the exact surgery that he got?
He was telling Mackenzie and I about it yesterday. He can also explain this himself probably better, but they took bits of the ends of his own hair and sprouted them in his head. So his own hair is regrowing from his head, and then those hairs will slowly fall out and cause new growth with his own hair. So it's all like his own hair. It's just almost like a graft. But he can tell you more specific. That's just what he was telling me yesterday. He said he is very sore and his head hurts really bad.
Yeah, I wonder what the process is.
I don't know. He can tell us.
Yeah. Is it like, I don't know, seeding? Do they pull shit out and put shit back in?
That's kind of what it was sounding like. It's not, and I don't really know what a hair plug necessarily is either, but seeding it sounds like a good word for it.
All right. Well, in light of PFT's new seating, we are now seated, and we are on fleek.
And slaying.
And the hair is flowing. I feel like fucking Fabio.
Yeah.
I feel gorgeous right now.
On fleek really went away.
Yeah.
That's words.
I haven't
do
heard that in a
man.
long time.
Especially in today's world, dog. Today's world is getting. I'm about
Too
to be
many
that
words.
old nigga that just check out, dog. It's just too much going on, bro. Have you ever just like opened your social media, like, there's a lot going on, right? There's so much things going on. That's we want to check out sometimes, man. Like, there's a lot going on. Appreciate you. I got my protein for the day. Got a plate
the
of
hell
eggs.
is that?
Thank you
Oh
so
my
much.
God.
I thought coffee was coming.
Yeah, me too.
I told you guys, it's got to be special. I don't want to be a crackhead. I don't want to be a crack. Listen.
Well, we
I
record
love-
a little early today. I figured maybe you needed.
He goes,
No.
literally.
You know what I'm saying? I can't. It is what it is. I'm fucking styling on right now. But no, listen, coffee is amazing, and it's so amazing that I have to minimize my intake of it. Like, I'm aware it's a drug. That shit is a drug. That shit is
Yeah.
amazing. That shit is a limitless pill. For all my coffee drinkers out there, you are on drugs. We
Yeah.
are on drugs. We are on drugs.
This is my drug
And-
of choice.
What is
and it's a
that?
great
Cold brew?
drug. It's a great drug.
Wait,
Especially when you start to find out the
wait,
different
wait,
kind of
hey,
beans,
hey,
dog.
hey, shut up.
Coming? Is he coming?
Oh, wait.
Oh, wait.
No, it's Tommy. Smokes.
Oh, son of a bitch.
God damn it.
Who the fuck is Tommy?
Smokes.
Tommy Smokes. You've met him, I think.
Okay, yeah.
But he opened the door slowly.
Why he
Yeah.
do that?
I don't know. I think he was probably looking
I
for a
think he
different
was
room.
looking for the other studio.
He works in New York. I don't think he knows his way around here.
Yeah, I was about to say, I thought I met him in New York.
Yeah. He works in New York.
Nikki Smokes is here.
Correct.
Yep.
Very
jeez.
remarkably different people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nikki Smokes good people too, though. Very did not know if I would like Nikki Smokes or not, but he's a good dude. On the
That's
right
the
side
big
of
T.
history on a lot of stuff.
Hmm.
I mean, he's probably not, but yeah, probably a good dude.
He's
Right.
Dolphins fan.
Once again, wrong side of history. Is he from out there?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
from. He is as Fort Lauderdale 25-year-old man as it gets.
He's the definition of a Florida man.
Yeah.
Got you. Oh, there's a few things I wanted to get off my chest. Before PFT gets here. It's old news by the time y'all hear this, but rest in peace, Frankie Beverly. Rest in peace, Rich Homie Quan.
Mm.
We had a lot of fallen ones.
James Earl
Last
Jones.
James Earl
message.
Jones.
Oh, rest in peace, James Earl Jones. Damn, we had a lot of fallen soldiers, man. It is what it is, man. Life goes on. You brothers will be remembered and appreciated. And for those that don't know who Frankie Beverly is, as soon as you hear that song, that burn, 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 dun, dun, before I let you go. Anyway, my pipes ain't what they touted to be. But rest in peace, Frankie Beverly. Get a moment of silence.
They do come in threes, I guess.
Death comes in threes. Look at you, Big T. I didn't know that was there's a
what they-
known saying.
That's what they say.
Death comes in threes. Is what it
Jimmy
is.
Carter lives to fight another day, I guess.
This nigga is the fucking GOAT, bro. Hey, Jimmy Carter, whatever I like, they need to release his like detailed diet plan for the last like 10 years.
I can't imagine it's very much.
Ain't no telling, man.
Like one
I was-
almond a day.
I'm on this like current egg like obsession. Like, I'm obsessed with eggs right now. I cannot eat enough. Yesterday I ate a dozen. I understand that's unhealthy. I understand. It wasn't like at one sitting. I ate like 4 in the morning, and like 2 hours later I ate like 4 more, and then like later on in the day I ate like 4 more eggs. It's just so good.
How
dog.
how are you preparing them?
Over medium,
Oh. And just straight up?
straight up over medium. I
Like,
mean,
what does your plate of eggs look like right now? Just straight up for over medium eggs?
I season them, Maddie. Of course.
Well,
season
I
them.
didn't say you didn't. Holy shit.
Yeah, so just 4 eggs. It's not. Listen, eggs can be healthy, and eggs are healthy, right? It can be part of a good balanced diet. A dozen eggs a day is not good for you, and it might kill you. It'll get your cholesterol high. Which there's like kind of debate about that, by the way, though, about cholesterol and eggs, and like sometimes you need cholesterol, and so I don't know. I'm not a nutritionist, but from my understanding and what I've read, they are healthy, but in excess, I think too much of anything will kill you, man. So.
This feels like some things that you say and do remind me that you were an NFL player. Like that feels like one of them. Like I'm just going to have a dozen eggs today.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't
Like-
wake up with that. It was just I ate the 4 eggs and I was like, God damn, them shits is hitting. And then like a few hours later, I was like, that's all I had though. I had a dozen eggs and then I had a bowl of vegetables at night.
Jesus Christ. Are you like on a diet?
No. I wanted to trim up a little bit. You know how after the summer you can get a little, you can feel
You had fun.
You can feel your fun. You
Yeah.
can feel the fun. You feel the fun you had. And it's time to take care of business before cool weather season comes. Because there ain't nothing like ain't no better feeling than having abs in a hoodie, dog. It's a great feeling.
Totally.
Before he comes in here, which should be any minute, I wanted to. Uncle Chaps had a great trivia question yesterday, talking about when we were talking about Carter.
Oh yeah.
Shoot.
Do you know the last Democratic president who has died?
Last Democratic president who has died. Was it JFK?
Close.
FDR?
No,
No, that was way before.
way
that.
before. Guy that took over for JFK.
Oh, who took over JFK? I'm blanking.
Another three letters.
I'm blanking.
LBJ.
LB fucking J. I don't know why I got to mix up. With
And he
FDR.
died in
Yeah.
the early 70s. And he's the
Damn.
last Democratic president to die.
Some say, when you lean left, you live longer. That's what they say.
I mean, Jimmy Carter.
Hey, if you had to be a Democrat, Big T, and that would guarantee you 95 years on this earth, would you do it?
I don't know that I want to live to 95.
What's your ideal year?
86.
It's a good year.
I mean, ask me again at 85, but
Sure, I'm a double. I'm probably gonna be dead by then, my brother.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
feel like-
anything past that, like it's not a high quality of life you're living.
Once your friends start dying, like once all your friends are dying, that feels like
Yeah.
Damn.
that sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. Good morning if you listen to this morning.
I know,
And
sorry.
we are all mortal beings and we'll all pass on one
At least we
day.
have fun wigs on to talk about it.
Yeah.
Need a wig day. Oh, here he comes. Here he comes. This is not a drill. Not
why
a
do you
drill.
want to be dead silent when he comes in?
Hey,
What's
What's
up?
What's up, PFT?
What's up?
happening, baby?
How we doing? Whole squad's looking good. Arian, I like the texture on yours.
Yes.
It's layered.
I'm
Got some highlights.
I'm
We all
slaying.
did it. That's good stuff, guys.
Congrats
We're-
to all of us.
We awesome stuff.
We're all on this journey.
I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. It means a lot. Like strength in numbers. It's like when everybody on the team like shaves their head to support.
Yeah.
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 Going through something. Yeah. Except the complete opposite in every way of that. I love it. I love it, guys. Are you guys gonna keep those on?
I don't know yet.
I don't know that I can do it the
Yo,
whole show.
it kinda sucks.
Arian,
Arian's is slaying.
yo,
Yeah. Ariana,
Are you?
Yeah.
Are you? Hey yo.
hey,
how many beers?
you're looking right.
That please screenshot that.
Fellas. I forget which water was mine. I just use this one.
I'll go back to my seat now.
He looks
We're
good.
live to tape, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
We've
Yeah.
been recording.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've been recording.
Oh,
Yes.
we about 15 minutes in the pod, but
We've just been
You
waiting.
guys look great. I'm gonna look like you guys one day.
Yeah. God willing.
You got a mullet.
We all have
Yeah,
mullets. We
we
all have the
do.
same one.
Oh yeah.
They're just wearing hats.
We had to make
That's
sure
not
that
bad.
they would get here in 24
Yeah.
hours.
Arian looks like it's like Jennifer Aniston almost. I like that.
some say cuter.
Yeah, Big T, you look good with a mullet.
I think I could in a certain world be convinced of this.
Yeah, like this world.
Your support means the world to me.
Yeah, man. We out here for you, dog. I tell you what, though. I don't know how I'm up. This should be getting in my face, B.
Yeah, you gotta tie it back.
God damn, dog.
Take out a scrunchie. Let me see you put that scrunchie on there.
My had hair before this was just locked. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There's never this flowy.
I actually have to get a maybe a wave cap to wear to bed.
Okay. Hey, I got you. I'm the man for that. I guess you want a wave cap? You want a do rag? What you want, man?
Put me on a good wave cap.
Wave cap? Okay, I got you. Say less. I'm gonna text you.
You think I could use one of those?
No, you wear hats all day.
I don't really know what it does, to be honest. I just feel like
It helps with the waves.
Could I do waves?
You could do ripples.
Okay.
So the reason why, and like I'm mixed, so like my shit is not as coarse, and so like you put grease on it, you'll brush it, you put a wave cap on it, you'll brush it, and you brush it, and it starts to get those nice waves. My waves are a little bigger than full-blooded black folk. But I've seen like white dudes try to do it, and they just get like really big ripples.
Yeah, I don't know that it would be the look for me. I'm just curious.
I like the mullet look for you. I usually don't like mullets, but that kind of goes, man.
It does.
I'm kind of a business in the front, party in the back kind of guy.
It looking like it, man. I
You've
like
been
it, dogs.
a mullet guy your whole life.
Yeah.
Just haven't known it. Are we actually taping?
Yeah, we on, brother.
We are, yes.
All right. Welcome back to Macrodosing, guys. Hey, what's up? It's Thursday. It's September 12th. Mad Dog, I just tried to turn the air conditioning down in the studio. Do you think I did it right?
What?
Do you know how to turn the temperature down? I just turned it down a little bit. I just want to make sure I did it right. Do you know how it works?
I feel like I'm getting punked.
No, I'm dead serious. I just hit the bottom thing. You're not getting punked.
Okay.
It's just very hot in this room.
Oh, yeah, then you should be fine. If you just click down.
Okay, that's all I have to
Yeah,
do
yeah.
on this. Okay, there's nothing
Yeah.
else.
I thought you were setting up for.
I know.
something.
I was like,
I.
I was running through my head of like, what
I'm the
did I
boy
do
who
with
cried
it?
wolf.
The air
Yeah,
conditioning.
the AC in this place does suck because it's either really hot and then you turn it on and it comes on and has the craziest sound of all time.
Yeah, it gets crazy loud in here. But it is September 12th. Welcome back to Macrodosing. I'm back in the studio. I did listen to Tuesday's episode. Start out with a little bit of fake news.
Start to finish?
No, I did not finish it.
Oh, okay.
I started it.
Did we end up leaving this in at the end or no?
No, I cut it out.
Because we talked about this at the end and we debated should we leave it in or not. And I was like, he's not going to listen. It doesn't matter.
Oh, I listened to like the first half.
But we decided that someone might tweet you and let you know.
Yes.
And we didn't want that to happen.
That's smart. It's very smart. No, it was a complete surprise. And Arian, the hair looks great.
I'm fucking slaying, dog.
Yeah, you might keep that on for a little bit. You look kind of like Kid Rock.
That's insane. I probably got like 5 minutes left in this thing. This shit is itchy as fuck, dog.
I've like settled into it. It was really bad at first, but now I'm starting to feel the benefits.
What are the benefits?
I don't know. I just feel sick. I feel a little more redneck, which I like.
You're giving like Little League World Series baseball coach.
Love that.
Yes.
Love that.
Yeah, Arian's giving like guitar player, and you're a guitarist for Lenny Kravitz.
That's
like
a
that.
great call. Great
Yours-
call.
Yours has like Arian's has like balayage. Like there's like highlights.
Bro, I'm slaying right now, man. Like, hey, it's a good look. You know what I'm saying? It's
And
a
Mad
good-
Dog McKenzie are giving softball Little League World Series participants.
He said what?
So, want to talk about a couple things right off the bat. We'll get to the debates in a little bit. The debate was that was a wild night of television. I think we kind of all expected it to be. We'll talk about whether or not they're eating cats and dogs in Springfield. We will talk about the moderators. We'll talk about who won, who lost the debate, and a lot more. But right off the bat, I wanted to talk about something that somebody sent me online yesterday. Arian Foster ratioed me yesterday. Big time ratio.
Good custom meme.
Now, to those of us who are in the Macrodosing group chat, we've seen this meme before.
Hold on,
Arian's
hold on.
deployed
That
it a couple
wasn't-
times.
That wasn't
and
just
it-
a regular ratio. You got fucking Molly Wop.
What did the final number count end up being?
I don't know. I muted it, but what is it at now?
I'll tell you.
looking.
Last time I checked, it was like 21 or something like that.
All right, so I'll tell the full story. Somebody sent me a link to Wikipedia yesterday, and under the Wikipedia entry for a fumble in NFL football, there's a picture of Arian Foster fumbling the football
Which
against
is
the Dallas
wild.
Cowboys.
Which is wild, by the way.
It's crazy because that's a cliche to say, like, if you look something up in the dictionary, literally, if you look up the word fumble in the dictionary, you'll see a picture of Arian Foster.
That's fucking wild, dog.
Yeah. Now, I bust your balls for having bad hands. I don't think you fumbled that much, though, did you?
No, I didn't.
It was. I think we looked it up one time. It was like 17 in the NFL. I think.
I would never fumble.
Because you never carry it.
Well, no, because I take too much pride in my details. I just hold on to the ball.
17 career fumbles.
Out of how many games?
Hold.
Damn, that is funny. When
I'm
you
gonna
look up
guess,
the definition
80
of fumble.
games.
Definition of fumble, Arian Foster. 17
Yo.
fumbles, 80 games. That's you were not a fumbler.
You know, I feel like this is a joke by somebody who is a University of Tennessee fan. It has to be. It has to, because you can edit this shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. When I
Can
was
you edit
coming
the
out of-
pictures?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. So when I was coming out of college, that was the knock on me, was I fumbled. But if you looked at the actual stats, I didn't. It's just I fumbled in like 2 primetime games, and it really pissed ball fans off. And so they're like, "Oh, he's a fumbler." When in reaction, I didn't really fumble that much.
I was actually just trying to find how many did you have in college.
I'll guess it like under 10, dog. Honestly,
This has everything except fumbles.
Did
Defense and fumbles.
When you were holding on to the football, did you ever consciously think to yourself, "Don't fumble"?
in certain situations. So like if you're backed up, if you're on your own, like if you're on your 5-yard line, the goal is to get as many positive yards. Don't try to be a hero. Hold it tight and get it, like, get what's there. Don't try to get all this extra shit.
Yeah.
I can't find fumbles, but can you tell us about your 0 attempts on one career, or 0 completions on one passing attempt in college?
Yeah, so it was my senior year. I had been harping for 4 years about how I have a good arm, and funny enough, nobody believed me really, and until I got to the Pro Bowl and Bill Belichick saw it. Bill Belichick was like, "No, you do got a good arm." He had a little throw off with all, because I was like fucking around with the quarterbacks. So I was like, "You got a nice little arm." He's like, "We're gonna put in a play." So they put in a running back sweep at the Pro Bowl. It didn't work because Julius Peppers, big Hall of Fame ass, off the corner, came on block. But so on that play, I had finally convinced the coaches, and it was just the incomplete. It was to Quentin Hancock. It was a post route. I probably should have gave it more air, but I felt like he should have caught it. But hey,
Who was it against?
I want to say Northern Illinois. Is that right?
I don't know.
Oh, I would say Northern.
It just
Illinois.
says 0 for 1 in 2008.
It's cool. I threw a touchdown in the league, man.
No interceptions?
No picks. And in the league, I was 1 for, I had perfect stats in the league. I was 1 for 1 with a touchdown.
That's great.
You know
That
who
can't
like
be beat.
the best NFL quarterback rating of all time is?
LT.
I thought it was Mohamed Sanu.
Oh, it might be.
He at one point was like 5 of 5 with 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, it might be, but I think LT he's up there too. He threw a shitload of touchdowns. And he had that nice little like soft release, almost like he didn't even snap his wrist at all. He just kind of floated the ball up there.
Mohamed Sanu finished his career 7 completions on 8 attempts with 4 touchdowns
It's pretty good.
for 233 yards.
Huh, an incompletion in the NFL? Can't relate.
So I pointed out online that if you look up the definition of fumble in the dictionary, you get a picture of Arian Foster. And I tagged you and I said, "Oh no, I was warning you about it. I didn't like it. I was raising awareness and visibility so that hopefully somebody could fix it." And then Arian Foster replies with a little meme. He memes off on me. And what was the final stat on the ratio?
29,000 likes.
29,000 likes on his. How many did mine have? Like 1,000?
5.2.
Okay. Still, considerable
Yeah,
ratio on that.
It did work.
A little drawing. I mean, that's kind of sus that you spent your time drawing a picture of another man.
Not true. That's not my meme. I found that meme somewhere on Twitter. I don't know. I have 2 folders full of memes, video memes and picture memes, and I have 1,000 in each one. I love memes. I love sarcasm, and that's how I roll. Everybody knows that. So I had that meme already, and then you said something in the group chat, and I was like, I'm about to flame this nigga for no reason. He didn't do anything wrong. It was a fair statement in the group chat, and I put it like under your little whatever you said in text. I put it, and everybody was laughing. I was like, you know what? Let me go deeper. Then I did the hair with the glasses. That was me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did that. And then I saw somebody else replied with a giant bald spot.
I was going to tell you, you're actually lucky
of
he
the little
gave
guy.
you a full crown.
Listen, my bald spot is not that big. I'm making sure it doesn't get any bigger. That's all.
I like that.
Yeah. And we're not shit. I'm trying to take back male cosmetic procedures. We're removing the stigma from it. Because women can get Botox. Some guys wear lifts in their shoes. I can't relate to that. But yeah, a lot of stuff out there that people do to improve their look or to make them feel better about themselves. So guess what, dudes? If you're gonna get if you're gonna get your own hair and move it to other places on your own head, I say go for it. We support.
Yeah.
that.
So we were talking about what is the actual cert? Like, what did you actually get done? Because we were talking about all kind of other. We didn't know. So what did you actually get done?
All right. So it's not the one that you see with Turkish hairlines. When people go over to Turkey and then you see a flight back and it's just a bunch of dudes with their heads wrapped up. It's not that one. That one's called FUE, and I don't know what it stands for. But in that one, they like shave your head, and then I don't know exactly how it works. They like take some of your hairs and like implant them all over your head. What I got, since I've got a pretty good head of hair except for just that one back spot and a little bit receding in the front, they took a strip about the size of like a ballpoint pen out of the back of my head. And by ball, I mean like a lengthwise ballpoint pen, not like the tip of the pen. They took a strip out and then they took the hairs out of that and then they put that in the front and then they put that in the back on the crown where I'm losing my hair a little bit.
Oh, that's what Bron did.
Yeah. I got the LeBron James.
And a twist of irony.
Yeah, but guess what? I lasted about 10 years longer than he did.
Those are facts, man.
He got his when he was like 29. Also, I don't think his took that well.
His hairline did.
In the front,
yeah, in the front, yeah. But like on the crown, he's still struggling a little bit. To me, that is the most, I guess, evolutionary. It's the most confusing evolutionary trait that happens.
Yeah.
To me, because in what ways does losing hair benefit you?
I don't know. I guess if you live in a hot climate,
that would hurt more because hair protects
Sunburn.
you from like UV rays. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's just a trait. So I got it from my.
Because you don't lose hair anywhere else. Like I would love to lose hair other places. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Instead, you start to get a hairier back. You start to get a hairier chest.
You get hairier everywhere, ears, nose. And then up top, you just lose. I don't understand that. If we have any evolutionary biologists out there that can explain that, please call in.
That's a good question. Why do you get it? Like your toes get hairier, your ass gets hairier.
Everything, bro.
I'm getting hair on my stomach now.
Bro, I've never had hair on my chest before, and in the last like 3-4 years, it's just out of control. And I got hair around my nipples now. It's just like, what's that for?
Yeah.
What does that do?
Doesn't do shit. But yeah, it's a stupid thing that your body does. So I'm just glad I'm gonna have long hair for the next like 10 years.
Okay, there was a big part of the show that you missed that I wanted to catch you up on. Remember the dude that called in that had like 12 roommates?
12 roommates.
Yeah, he had like 12. He was in college and he had like 12 roommates.
Okay, what was his question about?
He was just kind of his question the last time he called in was just like, how do I deal with this?
Okay, yeah, it sounds familiar.
All right, so he called back and he was he met a woman and he was sleeping with the woman and he
brought
her
back a shortstop.
Yeah, he brought her back and he had a bed frame that made a lot of noise. And he said it made so much noise that he stopped mid, put the mattress on the floor, and finished on the floor.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what, man? I want to keep tabs on this cat. And so we all kind of agreed that he calls in the show, and every week he just gives an update on his life.
This is kind of your actual 4-year-old son, Chris.
Yeah, we've adopted him.
Okay, I like this guy. Now,
my mom hit me. Hold on, my mom hit me, Big T. My mom hit me, said, you and Big T had a good pod. People love the sports. And she said also, and I'm 100%, because we named him Matt, right? She said also someone, because the mattress. She said also someone in the comments said you should name your color Squeaks. I like that. I like that shit. I like calling them squeaks.
Yeah.
I'm with it. So like
That's a good
squeaks.
nickname.
We all good with that nickname?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Squeaks. Squeaks it is.
Squeaks. Squeaks.
It's just
Call back in.
it's a very funny visual. I've done the move where something's squeaking and you just go to the floor. I've never like stopped. I can't imagine like stopping mid-sex and you got a boner and you're like lifting a mattress off the bed and
Wow.
putting the mattress on the floor.
He also said he tried to fix the bed frame before just going to the floor.
He's like, he gets off her and he starts like fixing the slats. He's
Yeah.
like, can you scoot over to the side? I'm trying to lift this side of the mattress up and get
Yes.
under there.
Yes.
Yeah, because then she got to get off. She's just standing there like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Waiting him to lay the place of engagement down.
And then you got to put the mattress back on at some point.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Wow.
the other thing he was talking about was he was like, I may just keep it on the floor now.
Yeah. You're going to get a lot of questions about like, why is your mattress on the floor? But
Not from a house with 12 dudes in it for sure.
they get it. Yeah. They'd understand. Oh, he's being
Yeah.
considerate.
That's what I said. I was like, well, I said if you wanna, if she's just a joint you meet out, like who cares? You know what I'm saying? She don't care, right? But if it's somebody that you actually care for and want to start a courtship with,
Yeah.
you want a box spring, you want a bed frame that don't squeak. You know what I'm saying? You want to impress her a little bit.
A nice solution to this would be just the standard college guy move of having the box spring in the mattress and no bed frame at all.
Like we also talked about that. That's
I
what
think
had
that's
in
what he
college.
was talking about.
Oh, so the box spring was squeaking.
No, he had
I-
a bed frame that squeaked.
Yeah, but I'm saying a lot of college kids, at least a lot of kids that I knew, they just had the box spring and the mattress and no bed frame.
So I think that's what he was talking about doing going forward.
yeah, it's a good move. I think that'll get rid of most of your squeaking issues. The only problem I see with the move that he pulled is if his roommate was actually listening in and heard the first like 45 seconds of the squeaking and then the squeaking just stopped, now your roommate thinks that you can only go for 45 seconds. Might look at you sideways.
But then you show the bed on the floor and you can explain.
Yeah, true. Shout out Squeaks,
Squeaks.
a true gentleman.
Call back in, doggy. You are our new son, the macrodosing son.
Arian, I got a question for you. I don't know if I've asked you this before, but is there any celebrity out there or somebody that you look up to where if they got canceled or had some dirt come out on them online, you would actually be disappointed about? Because for the most part, I've learned that you can't look up to almost anybody. There's like a couple people in my head where I'm like, I would actually be upset if it came out that they were a bad person. But for the most part, I'm like, a lot of celebrities, a lot of people that are big public figures, they've got skeletons in their closet. Don't look up to them and treat them as gods because they'll let you down. But are there any people that you think of where you would be like distraught or heartbroken if they got canceled?
Hell no. In my experience meeting celebrities, my experience knowing people who are celebrities, they're human. And so they have flaws, they have desires, they have vices, they have issues. And a lot of fandom and a lot of celebrity worship, it's just propped up. They prop up people and it's a facade. And so I look at it like if there's a celebrity that don't have dirt out on them and there's not like hit pieces and shit, I feel like they have the most skeletons in their closet. That's just how I feel.
Yeah. If they're too
I
clean.
don't know, of course, but that's just how I look at it. I was like you ain't never had no type of scandal. You probably doing something dirty. That's just how I feel.
Yeah. What about you, Big T?
Yeah, I don't think like I'm not really living and breathing with the actions of any celebrity.
Like nobody involved Tennessee football? Peyton Manning?
Yeah, I guess that would suck, but
Like if it turned out that he was doing HGH or something?
oh, I don't care.
Okay.
Just if he did something like really bad.
Real bad. What about any Braves?
Chipper
Chipper Jones. Came out, Chipper was a scumbag.
What does scumbag mean?
I don't know, like committed serious felonies.
What kind of felonies?
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be ideal.
Yeah. What
What
if
kind
like
of felonies, though?
what if something bad came out about Donald Trump?
I think some have.
Yeah. Mad Dog McKenzie. Are there any celebrity like? Okay, here's a good example. When you found out that Taylor Swift was endorsing Kamala Harris, were you like, "Fuck her"?
No,
No, Queen.
Okay.
not at all. I mean, Taylor would be like the biggest one where if she came out as like terrible human.
She was drinking baby blood.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
What about destroying the environment?
Good question, Big T.
Yeah, thank you.
Because usually
gone this far.
it's her most ardent supporters who are the ones that are generally on the beating the climate crisis drum.
Mm-hmm.
And she's one of the biggest contributors in the world.
How many degrees each year does she increase the temperature of the seawater via her jet?
There's
People
no
are
telling.
asking. Yeah. Taylor would be a really big one, and then honestly, right now maybe I just have a recency bias with the Olympics too. Like Simone Biles came out like as a really bad person. That'd kind of suck.
Mine would be Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, like it would kill me.
That might be also like that could really.
It could really happen.
But he's just a fun guy. He just likes to party.
Doesn't he do like a lot of cocaine?
Jimmy Fallon's a party animal.
He is. He literally like sliced his finger off almost
Right,
because
like-
he was like drunkenly cutting vegetables, I think.
Yeah.
But no, I
So
love
like
him.
hypothetically, Mackenzie, if there was a story that was inside Jimmy Fallon's Tonight Show where 16 current and former staffers say Fallon's eccentric behavior spoiled their dream of working on the Tonight Show, you would not want to read an article like that from 2023?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay. All right.
That doesn't. What does eccentric mean? That doesn't sound that
Sorry.
He's
bad.
not like Ellen.
Erratic.
Okay.
Erratic behavior.
I mean, even erratic. That's not like they're not saying
Erratic,
he was
erratic or erotic?
erratic.
Erratic.
Oh, I was like, because the erotic, that's problematic.
Yes, that could be bad.
Yeah,
But
like Matt Lauer stuff would not.
Erratic.
No, yeah, I would be so upset.
That just means you're a little weird.
Oh, wait, Matt Lauer?
No. I'm just saying if Matt Lauer stuff came out
Okay.
like Jimmy Fallon did
Like
Matt
if
Lauer
he-
stuff.
yeah.
I thought she was saying Matt Lauer
know
was the next
No,
guy.
I said
Oh,
I'm about,
no, I hate Matt
I'm about,
Lauer.
I'm about 10 years late on that one. Yeah.
I take it back. Yeah, see, it's not that I would be surprised. It'd be like, man, I can't really fuck with you like that anymore. Like, if it's like the rapey and sexual assault kind of stuff, like that kind of stuff. Like if you like, promiscuous in a marriage, something like that, yeah, it happens. You know what I'm saying? But if you like raping people and shit, that's like, I'm not saying it takes away from your art. I'm just saying I can't look at you the same as a human. That'll put me off. That'll
Like
put me
R.
off.
Kelly.
R. Kelly, yeah, that shit got me. But again, stepping to love comes on. I'll be moving. I understand. It's just what it is.
Yeah. Because I would say that I have very few of those people. I would say Weird Al is one for me. Just, I like Weird Al. I'm not like a Weird Al mega fan, but he seems like just such a good dude and a clean, wholesome, just like goofy guy.
I got one of those.
I would be upset. I would be upset if that happened. I'd be like, because it's more like he fooled me all these years.
Yeah, like come on, dog. Nardwar.
Yeah.
You know who Nardwar is?
Yeah.
I love Nardwar.
That'll fuck me up. Like you too good of a you wholesome, bro. What you doing out here being weird?
Mr. Rogers is another.
Oh yeah.
Well, that would have been just a disgrace.
It would have been a disgrace.
Bob Ross?
I bet Bob Ross was up to some shit.
He might have been.
No. I used to watch it. I used to have anxiety attacks, bro. I used to put on Bob Ross, man. He calmed me down, dog.
You don't think you don't think Bob Ross had like a red room
I hope not, man. Fuck.
dungeon?
You're right. That shit would be a little. Like, come on, dog. I was gonna ruin my day, but it's gonna ruin my moment.
Jimmy Carter would also be the same way.
Yeah.
Just 'cause-
Carter, man.
Seems like a good dude.
People probably feel this way about you guys, Arian and PFT.
Well,
T.
I hope that we.
Definitely not me.
Yes.
Yeah, people
Yeah.
like you.
Okay.
Well, the thing about doing a podcast, like at least the ones that we do, we're so open about
Yeah.
like everything that we fuck up that I
Mhm.
feel like we fall into that category of our skeletons are out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So if you're still rocking with us after everything you know about us right now,
Yeah.
then I don't think that I like to imagine that there's nothing else that goes on in our lives where it would like surprise you or cause you to hate us or think differently of
Yeah.
us. But there's another dude out there that would have been close to this category for me, Dave Grohl. I don't think he wasn't in that category, but he seemed like a good dude. So Dave Grohl, singer of the Foo Fighters, drummer from Nirvana. I've watched a lot of interviews with him. I've read a lot of interviews, seen a lot of videos of him. Just seems like a good guy. I know some people that have met him and they swear up and down he's a good dude. And he might be overall a good dude still. But yesterday he posted on Instagram, I've recently become the father of a new baby daughter born outside my marriage, which is a hell of a way to frame it. Like this is the best use of the passive tense. Yeah. Like who knows how I became the father of this baby girl that showed up. Like a baby girl showed up and I was like, oh, I guess I'm your dad. I plan to be a loving and supportive parent to her. I love my wife and my children. I'm doing everything I can to regain their trust and earn their forgiveness. We're grateful for your consideration toward all the children involved as we move forward together. Dave. So that was the statement that he put out on Instagram yesterday. It's done via what appears to be Notes app, as one does. But the font selection is really what I zeroed in on. Big T, are you looking at, have you seen that statement?
I saw it briefly. I'm pull it up.
Can you guys pull it up too? Because I want to get your feedback on the font.
I actually have thoughts on this.
Okay. What are they?
I think so. The from what I'm looking at, it's not Notes app specifically. Like someone wrote this and typed it on something that's not Notes app.
You don't think that's Notes app screenshot?
I know it's not Notes app screenshot.
Yeah, that's not.
Well, it'd be funny if it still had the cursor in there.
Yeah.
Well, also notes if you zoom in really close, there's like a texture to the background.
Yeah.
That's not on this.
Okay.
Yeah. And the formatting wouldn't be like that. I do think, which I think is what you're about to say, bit too casual of a font for this situation.
I think a little bit. It could have been worse. He could have gone Comic Sans.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
Comic Sans would almost make it funny. Impact would have been a bad choice.
What's Cam Newton's font?
That's just Cam Newton. Cam Dings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got his own app, I think, that has his own
must.
keyboard that he types stuff in.
Didn't he say that to you guys on Per My Take?
Yeah, he said the first time he texted Belichick, he was like, "What the fuck is this?" Because he always types like that. But yeah, this font, I would say it's a bit too casual to announce a baby that happened to be born outside of your wedlock via mysterious means.
Yep.
I think a classic Times New Roman
Yep.
would do
Helvetica.
fine. Helvetica could be fine. You don't want to make it too fancy though. What's the one like Lucida?
Maybe, yeah.
That one is maybe a little too fancy. It seems like it's almost a
like the cursive jump.
yeah, like an 18th century.
This is what I
British
don't get
romance
though. This is what I don't, like. So I understand your purpose because I went through the exact same thing. I did the exact same thing. I was married. I had a child out of wedlock. And what I don't get is why celebrities feel the need to like issue a public statement. Like,
Yeah, who
I
would
don't-
have ever
I don't
known
get it.
about this?
It's like it's none of our business, dog. Because I had people all talk. Aaron's a piece of shit because of what he did. Like, there's nothing you can say to me that I ain't said to myself because I understand the people that have hurt in the past and the reconciliation that I had to do, you know, and the work and the therapy I had to go through to understand why I had these demons. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't understand like why people feel entitled so much so that your celebrity has to give you a statement. Like, it's shit wild to me.
I assume like a magazine or something said they were going to come out with it, so he just did it himself.
Yeah.
And that be the thing, dog. That be the thing. And so when I went through my situation, that was the thing that was killing me was like, y'all are, because the internet doesn't, it's always going to be here, right? And especially for children are on the internet, right? And so this is the thing that, and I was always telling the shorty involved, I was like, listen, you making it messy like this, it's not going to hurt me. I'm a grown man. The reporters ain't going to bother me. But like your son, he going to Google his name and he going to Google your name and he going to Google my name and this shit going to pop up, right? And so then he's going to have to deal with the psychological effects of that. And so for people that write these stories, like to me, you like the lowest of the lows because you just want clicks, right? You just want to like give the gossip in the dirt. But it's like, yo, there's people involved that it affects. And granted, I'm not, condoning any of the actions involved. Like, yeah, people were hurt. Like life happens, and people are allowed to have their mistakes in private. You know what I mean? And like that's what bothers me the most about this stuff. Like there was a story about how a cat, I forget who it was. He was an ex-football player who his daughter was in his driveway, and he accidentally ran her over and killed her. And like there's like stories written about this shit. And I'm like, why are you writing stories about this shit, dog? Like I don't understand. Like, I just don't understand that the mindset of just like drudging up family drama. It's just disgusting to me. And I don't know, man. Could be a personal dig to me, but I just hate that type shit, man.
Yeah, because people will click on it. And it's not like back in the day when it would be in a newspaper and then you wouldn't be able to search it for the rest of the time.
Yeah.
Now you're going to be able to search everywhere. I remember right after the Barstool Van Talk show on ESPN, there was an article that came out because it was at the height of the Me Too movement. Mm-hmm. And there was an article that said like 20 celebrities that have been canceled because of sexual misconduct. And on the list, they had me and Big Cat. And like I was next to Harvey Weinstein and like rapists that were.
Was that as a joke? As a joke?
No, in the article it said like Barstool Van Talk was canceled from ESPN because of past remarks made by Barstool Sports founder Dave Portnoy on a podcast from like 2012, and for some reason they used my name and Big Cat's name as the people that were accused of this stuff, and it was because of jokes on a podcast from a long time ago that we didn't even say. And so I rarely respond to these things. I emailed the person that wrote it. I was like, hey, just so you know, you're putting me on a list with some seriously fucked up people, and I didn't do anything. And they ended up actually editing the article. They made no like editor's note or anything. They just took our names off. They took that entire section out. But for a while, that's what I was thinking. I was like, 20 years from now, I might have a kid that Googles this, and then they think that I was accused of doing something really, really bad.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it's like not the fact that like you're not aware of the transgressions that people do. Like, so I'm sure David Grohl is like hurt. Like I said, I've been through that shit. Like, this shit is hard to process. It's hard to understand. Like, your family looks at you different. Your kids look at you. You know what I'm saying? It's a hard thing to process, and then have the public shame you as well. It's just, there's no point. There's literally no point other than check out the tea I just found out. But that's crazy. You know what's crazy to me is before I started fucking with you and Big Cat, he was on my podcast in like 2017, I believe.
Yep.
Or 18, somewhere around there. My view of Barstool was that it's just because of I don't know why it gets, maybe because some of the outlandish shit Dave says sometimes, but like it has the outward appearance of like an Outkick, you know what I mean? Or like a Clay Travis type vibe. Like that's how I thought Barstool was, like before.
Yeah,
obviously I was a part of the deal with y'all, and that's have you noticed that's kind of the vibe?
Yeah, it depends on like what circle of the internet you run in. So in some circles of the internet, they'll try to cast you in certain lights, based on like one or two things that one person has said or tweeted out in the past, and once you actually, I've noticed that the more people consume Barstool podcasts and shows, videos, blogs, all that stuff, the more they understand us and the more they realize that that's not at all what we're about here. It's actually the most normal group of people that I've ever worked around. I'd say by far. Just like regular people, good people for the most part. I don't know everybody that works at the company, unfortunately. Like, I don't know everybody that well. I know a lot of people very well, but it's gotten so big that it's impossible to know everyone. And no one's actions obviously like speak for the rest of the company, but everybody that I've interacted with, I feel like it's been like the most welcoming workplace that I've ever been in. And also the more time you spend here, the more like there's like an idea around Barstool, if you don't know it that well, that we're stereotypical frat guys, and then you actually step foot into the office and you see we're a bunch of big dorks. Like we're a bunch of weirdos. We're just like really strange brains that work here, but positive people.
Yeah, that's the vibe I get. You know, it leans right some places, it leans left in some places, or moderate, I would say, in some places. But it's like I get good vibes from Barstool, man. So don't judge a book by its cover, because I definitely did. I thought y'all was on some like radical racist shit, honestly.
Yeah, you thought it was like calling out all the woke nonsense.
Yeah, I thought it was like that. And
Yeah,
I think individually there are some people who feel like that, but I don't think that's the goal of like each individual like entity or tentacle of Barstool. Like y'all really just love sports. Y'all love sports, and you have funny takes on them. It's no different than like me flaming Lakers in my group chats, or players. Y'all just do that publicly and probably get a little bad backlash from it.
Yeah, I also think that there's a lot of people in media that were direct competitors of Barstool back in the day. And so anything that they disagreed with that Barstool ever said, it was like, fuck you guys, you're our direct competitors, so I'm going to say all this bad stuff about you. And as those people advance through the media world, they get to cast that narrative out to their next jobs that they go to, and it becomes just a big talking point that people say. But anybody that spends any time around us, like, we'll win anybody over, because I think that we're just, for the most part, really good people that are fun to be around, and just normal people that like to make jokes and care about really, really weird, eccentric things. And we lean into that. And so we've reached a point now where I think the outside noise, anybody that likes to like go after us, I don't really think it affects anybody here anymore, which is a great place to be. Because for a while, it did fuck with me too. Like when I first signed with Barstool, the amount of shit I got from so many corners of the internet was unreal. I had people, there's a guy in Austin, actually, I had a birthday party. And at my birthday party, I was like, so I'm actually going to move to New York in like 4 months. This is going to be my last New Year here in Austin. And I'm going to join Barstool Sports and do a podcast called Part of My Take there. And the guy was like, you're making the biggest career mistake of your life. And I had a lot of friends that were like, fuck you. Like, what are you doing? Some people were saying like, this is the worst, most disappointing day in their history of the internet. So I just didn't even look at Twitter for like a week after I made the announcement that I was joining Barstool. I was like, I'm just going to have confidence that what we're going to make is going to be great, and let history play it out. And so I was but I was bummed out. I was really bummed out for the first like week, month, and then for the next couple of years after that, there would be times when I would let it affect me. But now we've been doing it so long, and I know what we're like here, that I'm completely comfortable and proud to say it with my chest that, yeah, this is the work that I do. This is where I work. And I think that if you spend any time around these people, you will actually like most of them, if not all of them.
Agreed. That's a great mission statement for Barstool, man.
Yeah. Just normal, I don't want to say normal people.
Yeah, I would.
But the outside perception is much different from reality.
Excited white sports fans. That's what I would describe.
Sometimes too excited, but
Yeah, I don't think that you can even just say white sports fans anymore, because we have a lot of people that work with us that are not white sports fans.
Yeah? Who that?
Yeah. So we do a lot of podcasts that have nothing to do with sports at all.
This one kinda.
This one kind of.
This one, yeah.
We have a lot of athletes that work with us.
$1 million worth of game. What else?
Yeah, they're not. I mean, they talk about sports, yeah, and they are sports fans kind of, but that's not what their show's about. It was funny though. We do these upfronts a couple times a year where we have advertisers come to the office, and we just kind of like show them around, and we talk to them about our shows and see if they want to spend any money advertising. And at one point, I think this was last year, we were in the gym and we had a bunch of advertisers over, and they had these little, I don't know what you even call them, like placards or like table stands that were on all the high top tables around here. And each one of them featured a different Barstool show and what category it fit into. And they had Macrodosing on one of them, and it labeled us as being a culture podcast. And I was like, what the fuck is a culture podcast? And then I looked around, and there was another podcast that was labeled as culture, and that's $1 million worth of game. So I think whoever made these placards saw Arian Foster and was like, Yeah, it seems like culture. Yeah, like the Pat Bev pod. That's culture. I don't. So I guess in
Anything
that
that got some
person's
seasoning,
mind,
got some culture in it.
yeah, culture means like there's a black person on the show.
Yeah, that's what they thought.
Bussin'
Right.
when Delaney's on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
Specifically. That's good.
Yeah, but no, if you spend any time around us, I think most people would enjoy hanging out here because we've had a lot of people like Arian that might have had a different perception, and then they hang out with us and they're like, "Oh, you guys are cool," and I'm always happy when that happens.
I actually had the opposite. I thought this place was what everybody said it was. Like, it's nothing but Republicans, and this is the woke mob. You can count on one hand the Republicans that work here out of 400 people.
The woke mob is in the room with you right now.
Yes, we are the woke liberal media.
You are kind of.
Yeah, I'm part of the machine. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hope you can sleep with yourself at night.
yeah.
I'll be all right.
Keep
guys want
fighting,
to-
keep fighting the establishment, Big T.
Right.
You guys want to talk about the debate?
Not really.
Why not?
Didn't do good.
I would agree with that. I would say that if the main takeaway is just saying that the moderators are very unfair, probably didn't go that well for you.
I mean, that was I took fairly extensive notes. Would you like to hear them?
I would, and I do agree with the fact that the moderators they called Donald Trump out on a couple lies. They didn't push back on Kamala on anything that she said that may not have been true, but
Several that were provably untrue.
But the ones that they pushed back on Trump for, at least I can think of two examples, were pretty egregious statements that he made, where they were like, "Hey, just stepping in."
I mean,
that's
I
not
think
true."
she said things that were pretty egregious.
She most likely did. I don't have any off the top of my head, but I do know that
She did the very fine people thing, which has been just debunked so many times.
Let's talk about the very fine people thing too, because that's one thing that was said a lot. It was repeated a lot after Charlottesville, and then later on, it was claimed to be debunked, and now people are saying it's a hoax claim. So I went back and I looked it up because I didn't know who was gaslighting me. I was like, somebody's definitely fudging the truth here. And what I read was that he did refer to very fine people on both sides, but if you look at the context of the statement, the fine people on the Charlottesville side, he was referring to as the people that didn't want the statue torn down.
So this is from Snopes, not a right-wing outlet by any that has labeled this completely false.
Okay.
In a news conference after the rally protesting the planned removal of a Confederate statue, Trump said there were, quote, very fine people on both sides, referring to the protesters and counter-protesters. He went on to say in the same statement he was not talking about neo-Nazis and white nationalists who he said should be, quote, condemned totally.
Yeah, so he was talking about the people at the rally that weren't neo-Nazis and weren't white nationalists that wanted the statue to stay up when he said very fine people on both sides.
Yes.
Okay. So he did say very fine people on both sides.
But not about what they say he said it
But
about.
wasn't specifically, well, he drew a distinction between the white nationalists and the people that he said were very fine people.
Correct.
So the fine people he was talking about were the people that wanted the statue torn down and the people that did not want the statue torn down, except the white supremacists in that group.
I guess so.
There were people that were not white supremacists that did not want Robert E. Lee's statue torn down.
Yes, that's what he's saying.
That's interesting.
I think you could possibly make like a big time. There's like a big time history buff in the crowd that's just like Robert E. Lee, great Virginian, didn't want to fight against other Virginians.
But see, to me, like, sure, by the letter of the law, you're correct in what you're saying and in the depiction of what he's saying. But to me, he just be dog whistling all the time. All he does is dog whistle. And so it's like nobody can say Donald Trump's racist because there's not like a single quote or that it's, but it's like the shit he does all across his lifetime, really. That's just like, all right, man, you may have an affinity towards racism. Like he said some wild shit.
I think Donald Trump's a simple man where he will like anyone who likes him.
I mean, that could be the case, but also like I run in the circles of the like ultra wealthy. Like these people, they don't view like the average human being as like they don't they don't view people as people. You know what I mean? Like they view people as just like necessary for my game. And I think that's how I see Donald Trump, and I feel like that's how he moves. Like when you go back to like all the discrimination lawsuits against him, Central Park 5 stuff, all of the wild shit he says about Mexicans, and like just the way he says shit. It's like, again, can you come out and say Donald Trump is racist because of this? Nah, probably not. There's no smoking gun. But over the course of his life and over the course of the shit that he's done, like I feel like that he may have those feelings. I don't know. I can't never measure a man's heart.
So I did dig into it because I wanted to get the facts right on that, because I saw so many people saying it's a hoax, so many people saying it was true. And I think what me and Big T just discussed, I think that's the accurate context of it. It's also accurate to say that the people that planned that rally, the organizers of that rally, were white nationalists. They were like avowed white nationalists that organized the Unite the Right thing.
Yeah.
But there were people there that very likely would not subscribe themselves to that movement, that were there because they didn't want to see the statue torn down. By the way, I peed on that statue before when I lived in Charlottesville. Not because I hated Robert E. Lee, but because that park was right in between the downtown mall and my apartment that I was in. And I was drunk at the downtown mall. I had a good Saturday night. On the way back, I needed to pee. There's a park right there. That was the most convenient place for me to pee. I was not a woke piss. I wasn't trying to wash history away.
Wow, Charlottesville is all going down in the news. You like, oh shit, I peed on that statue.
I was like, they're standing in my piss right now. Yeah.
That's fucking funny, though.
Yeah, a little piece of history.
That's fucking funny. Oh, and in the bipartisan effort, I just want to say, the way I view Trump is the same way I view Joe Biden. I feel like he's probably racist as well. He has a lot of shit against him in his past over the course of his life that views me. I view him kind of the same way. So it's not just like, oh, you just got the Trump during. Like, nah, nigga, like these niggas say wild shit. And
yeah, if you watch any clip from Joe Biden from the 80s or 90s,
and Hillary, he has said stuff that you can point to that is just out and out racist.
Yeah, Hillary too, for that matter. Like they said some wild stuff back then about like the super predators and like black crime and blacks being more.
I hate how Democrats spin his crime bill now. They spin it like, oh, even the Black Caucus, and like it's so disingenuous. Like there were people that had real solutions and that demonstrated. I think even Bernie Sanders at the time supported the bill, but only supported it to get I forget what it was in there that he wanted in there. But at the time he was like, yeah, something needs to be done, but this is going to be demonstrably bad towards this community. Like there were people that were banging against it. There wasn't like this sweeping, everybody wants it. It's just politicians, bro.
I mean, you know who was the biggest person in calling Joe Biden a racist?
Kamala.
Yeah.
Yeah. In 2020. In those debates.
I mean, I agree.
In those debates. And I remember that. She was calling him out on it, and he kept calling her kid on stage.
I don't recall that, but
there's a lot of stuff that Biden... Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that Biden says that you either chalk up to like old senile grandfather or possibly old racist senile grandfather.
Which one is I'm going to go do 9/11 tomorrow?
Did he say that?
Yeah.
Yep. You never want to say that.
I think that's just that's the former, but
are we doing 9/11 right now?
He said, he was like, I'm going to New York for my granddaughter's birthday, and then tomorrow we're going to do 9/11.
That's crazy.
Is that an actual quote?
Yes.
Or was that somebody like writing?
No, go watch it.
It was in front of the White House, he said.
It was on the White House lawn. I mean, listen, of all the shit he said, that's not even, I mean, I see what he was going for.
Yeah.
You know what he's trying. Like, to me, that's you know what he's talking about. You don't think he's going to hop in a plane and run into a building. Like, come on, folks.
It's pretty easy to discern what he was talking about, but.
Yeah.
So
he could though. It'd be very easy for Joe Biden to become a terrorist. He's of the age. You don't even have to take your shoes off at that age in the airport. You can have a bomb on there.
I think he's got some more security.
Yeah, no one would even know.
I've got some more notes on the debate. Okay. My favorite moment, one that I feel was tremendously looked over. Kamala admitted that COVID was created in a lab.
She said that President Xi obfuscated and lied about the possible origins of
Which seems pretty clear
of
to
COVID.
me.
I still
If you said that in 2020, you were kicked off of Facebook at Kamala and Joe Biden's command.
I still think that we don't know.
Oh, dude, stop.
I think it's a very good possibility that it was from the lab.
COVID started under Trump's watch.
Correct.
It was created in a lab, was under his, and they were kicking people off of Facebook or Twitter or whatever under Trump first.
I don't know what Facebook was doing. They probably were, but then they had directives from the Biden White House in 21.
I'm just saying that's
They
a both
probably
sides
were
thing.
before too.
Yeah, that was both sides thing.
But yeah, I thought that was a very interesting thing she said.
Yeah, I've been of the mindset for a very long time. Maybe not initially once it came out and all the scientists read it first were like, no, this is from the wet market in Wuhan. I was like, okay, that's where it's from. And then you read a little bit more about it, and then I was just like, well, I don't think anybody really knows. I think it's impossible to know where it came from because scientists have been trying to figure that out by like doing the sequence on it and all that shit. I think that there's a good likelihood it came from the lab, but it also could have come from the market.
I think the broader point there is like, and I still don't see nothing wrong with it in a sense, is because like that, like it's dangerous to let shit flow if we don't know the shit. If we don't know it, it's just dangerous, and I think it's harmful. Honestly, I think it's harmful because you got people running around calling it China virus, shit like that. You know what I mean? It's just not. I don't see what's the benefit of calling it a China virus.
Let's say hypothetically that we knew in 2020 that it came from a lab, right? Like if the Trump administration had proof and they knew this was a weaponized virus that the Chinese government had made, and they intentionally released it to fuck with world trade. What's the appropriate response for that? What do we do? I feel like that's start a war, right?
That to me, that's the problem. Is like you start doing that, you start dredging up a possible nuclear war.
Yeah, like that's like time to take your shirt off and get active. I mean, fight.
Yeah.
I mean, for that to sound horny. We can take our shirts off anyways, but no, because like that's like 1 million people more. How many was it? 2 million people that died in the U.S. from that?
I don't know the numbers. There's still
A lot of
people dying from that shit.
And maybe 100 million died worldwide.
Yeah, there's a lot, man. Let's see. So
It says on here that in the United States, about 1.2 million people died.
Okay. Worldwide, a lot more than that.
Yeah.
But if we had known for certain at the time and we said, yeah, this is China that did it and they did it intentionally, I feel like that's like the world is going to war over that because you can't do that. So maybe, I don't know. I think that there's a possibility that we know that it did come from the lab and for whatever reason, we're intentionally acting like we don't know that it came from the lab so that we don't have to get into the biggest international conflict in the history of the world.
So is there, Big T, you can answer this. Is the theory that China created the virus to kill Americans, or it just
I don't know.
came from China?
I don't know. I mean, it seems abundantly clear to me it was created in the coronavirus lab in the city where it originated. For what purpose, and was it released intentionally? I don't know.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked at it. Honestly, it's not that important to me, but it's like, I don't know. That type of shit is just so divisive. There's just no point because so many people die from that shit.
And if it got released unintentionally, what's the appropriate response to that? Like, is that now, are we in a war at this point? There are going to be some people saying that we should be in a war. We should bomb Wuhan.
There's no more appropriate anything.
Yeah.
That shit is out the window.
It's like a messy situation. So I could see the logic behind the government not wanting us to think for certain that it was created in a lab, even if it was. I'm not saying that it's right to hide the truth or anything, but that opens up a whole can of worms that I don't think anybody wants to deal with if we all knew that.
Yeah, that'd be a wild thing. So
but yeah, that was a moment in the debate last night where I was like, did she just say that?
Yeah.
Like, I haven't heard anybody from the Democratic side say that at all with that sort of conviction, except like Jon Stewart.
Yep. There were
He said that shit funny as hell too.
yeah. No, I mean, and when you listen to him say it, yes, obviously.
If there was an outbreak of chocolatey goodness that originated from Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, she had all sorts of moments where she said, like, we're not going to take your guns. She said before she supports a mandatory buyback of assault weapons, in quotes, which doesn't mean anything except semi-automatic rifles that are not assault weapons.
Well, AR-15 stands for Assault Rifle 15.
Correct. My overarching...
Wait, what was her buyback program? Because I didn't know about that either. So is her buyback...
she was asked...
I know that it's I'm not currently a gun owner, but I have owned a gun in the past. I know that there are distinctions that you can make in terms of like magazine capacity and things like bump stocks that could convert a normal rifle into being something that's explicitly used for shooting a lot of human beings.
So all I can tell you, she was asked, what would you do about the millions of specifically assault weapons that are already in circulation? She said, well, there are approximately 5 million. To your point, Craig, we have to have a buyback program, and I support a mandatory buyback program.
Okay, so are there any other
And then last
specifics?
night she said, obviously, the exact inverse of that, which is all she's done. But are there what?
Are there any specifics of what would constitute an assault weapon?
No, that's all. Well, they can't tell you that because that's not a thing. They're talking about AR-15s, which are semi-automatic rifles, just like a pistol's semi-automatic.
So yeah, they're basically the same as a lot of hunting rifles, except like slight modifications to make them more useful for combat.
I mean, I can't define that for you. This is them talking, but...
Okay. Yeah, it would be, you'd have to confiscate a lot of hunting rifles if you just said all semi-automatic rifles.
Yeah, but that was just one. She did several things like that. My overarching takeaway was that their plan has worked to absolute perfection. Credit to the DNC. Waited until the very last minute to stage a coup, oust Joe Biden, bring her in, someone that they know doesn't really have a lot of policy proposals, doesn't matter. She's anything other than Trump. She'll piss him off. She'll make him look worse, and they'll hopefully watch the votes roll in, and so far it's working.
She did piss him off.
Yeah,
she
no,
did.
and he did a very poor job of it.
Yeah.
Was the most anyone with half a brain knew exactly what she was going to do.
Yes,
and he against Biden was pretty measured and did a pretty good job of letting Biden stumble his way through the thing and make himself look bad.
Yeah,
and he only really went after him like once or twice. And it was clear he was under direction to do that. And I don't know what happened last night because he was not under the same, he was not of the same manner.
He went after Joe more in last night's debate than he did when he was debating Joe.
Yeah.
And I thought he did a good job in the first debate where he let, like you said, Joe Biden hang himself with his own rope. Like, let Joe Biden talk. And then after he's done talking, you can say something like, I don't know what he said. I don't think he knows what he said.
Right.
And then move on. But last night, there were so many instances where Kamala would be, when she brought up crowd size. And she was
just
like,
so
and
obviously.
She's like, and he bores his crowd so much that they leave early. It was like, okay, Trump is, and it was right after she said, he's not going to talk about you. He's going to talk about himself. And that's all he cares about. And then she did the crowd size thing. And then it was like, Trump's definitely going to respond to just the crowd size thing. And sure enough, that's exactly what he did.
And if he was smart, she just handed him a massive win. You respond to that and say, I'm here to talk about the policies that will help the American people that are struggling so bad under your administration, not crowd size.
Yeah.
Massive win. Instant, and he wouldn't take it.
He couldn't help
That's because
himself.
he don't feel like that, Big T. He doesn't give a fuck. He is an egomaniac. He don't care.
No, I
bro.
agree with that.
But that's why he didn't hand it to him.
Yes, no, it was impossible
that.
for him to not respond to that.
There was
The
another
funniest
part.
thing to me was when he called her a Marxist. I about fell out, but that's why I left. I was like, it was early too. I was like, I can't watch this shit no more. And I'm just like, I wish she was. I wish Kamala was a Marxist. It's just she's so far from that. And then I just want one time in these debates, one time when somebody calls somebody a Marxist, one time to be like, please define Marxism for me. If she was to be like, if I'm a Marxist, please tell me how I'm a Marxist. Tell me what a Marxist is and how I fit neatly into these categories. It's so silly, man.
What was interesting about that is Trump did an interview with Lex Friedman like 2 weeks ago, and I watched the entire interview with him. And
talk about softball. Sheesh.
yeah, but he asked a couple questions. There's one specifically where he said, you're calling her a communist and a Marxist, which I don't think that she is based on her platforms. Why are you calling her that?
Yeah, I saw that part.
And then his answer was, well, they call me a fascist, so sometimes you have to say things and fight back and say things that might not be entirely what you think in order to just not let them get away with calling you bad names. And so he openly said that in the podcast. And then at the debate, he was going like all in on she's a Marxist. And it was like, wait, you told America like 2 weeks ago that you don't actually think that she's a Marxist.
Mm-hmm.
So that was weird. And then also on that same podcast, and he did another podcast, I forget which one it was, where he was talking about the election in 2020. And he said he admitted that he lost. And for me, that was like Big T when Kamala made the remark about the Wuhan virus, where it was like, oh, I haven't heard that before. And he was like, yes, we lost, but only by a whisper or a whisker. I forget which one it was. Whisker. And he said that remark twice. And then last night at the debate, he said that he was being sarcastic when he said that they lost by a whisker and that he actually didn't lose in 2020. So I don't know what that was all about, because I was like, you just said. And I thought that the moderator, say what you want. Maybe it wasn't their place to jump in. Maybe it was. But when he was like, I watched all the videos, I did not detect any sarcasm. I actually agree with that. Like, he wasn't being sarcastic when he said it on the other shows. But for some reason, I think that was a mistake on his part last night, was to like rehash and bring it back to fighting about 2020.
Yeah, he made a lot of. She did not perform well. I don't think she did anything that was extraordinary or even like good. Really, he just self-destructed for the most part. Now,
I thought she did a good job baiting him.
Sure, his closing statement I thought was pretty good, and that every answer should have gone back to your administration's approval rating is at what, 36, 30, some ridiculously low percentage. Why have you not done anything that you say you're going to do in the last 3.5 years? And the American people are tired of the record that you're running on. Every answer should have gone back to that, and he only did it at the very end.
Yeah, I thought that was one of the better things that he did, and I thought Kamala's introduction was not good, where she just talked about like growing up middle class right off the bat.
Yeah, what will you do to help the American? Do you think the American people are doing well financially? Well, I grew up middle class, and
yeah, I didn't think that was very strong on her part. Where I thought she did the best job baiting him. She sounded like a teacher with like a 6-year-old student when she was like, he lost the 2020 election and he's having a very difficult time right now processing that, like speaking super slowly and just talking about him like he was a child. That was, I thought, when she was baiting him and doing that stuff, I thought that's when she was at her best. The remark that Trump made about the dogs and the cats being eaten.
Okay, we have to talk about
They're
this.
eating our pets. So let's get to the bottom of this. Are Haitian immigrants eating our pets in Springfield, Ohio?
So,
dogs and cats. They're eating the dogs.
we can't prove the cats. We can prove the geese and ducks that they're like snapping the necks in public parks and walking around with them. There's pictures and videos of that, and phone calls to the police.
There's a picture of one man, and we don't know if he's a Haitian immigrant or not, and it was taken in Columbus, Ohio, which is not Springfield, Ohio.
Okay, I've got a police call to the Springfield police here for you if you'd like to hear that.
Uh-huh. I would, but also think about this. Remember when there was that report that a Venezuelan gang took over a Chicago apartment complex?
Yes.
There was a phone call that was just completely made up and unsubstantiated. So anyone can call the police, and then they
anyone can call the city manager and be told, "Oh, nothing's happening." And they go, "Okay, we'll say that on ABC News."
Okay.
What's the cap already?
Why?
Can you distinguish the difference between a Haitian person and a black person?
Let me.
I'll be honest.
In a town, I understand. I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying totally. In a town of 50,000 people where 20,000 Haitian migrants have moved in, I think you would get to know probably what they kind of look like.
You can. So I'm saying you could tell. Listen, I know.
No, I can't. But if I lived in a small town where a third of it suddenly became Haitian immigrants,
Haitian people are black, bro.
For sure.
Black. So like, how can you tell the difference between Haitian and Black American?
Again, I'm saying me looking, I probably wouldn't be able to tell. If a third of the town I lived in suddenly became Haitian migrants, I would maybe get a sense. Now, maybe he's wrong. We don't know.
I do, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, then it was a black dude that was walking around.
No,
with
I'm not.
the
I'm not
geese.
saying. I'm not. That could be the case. What I'm saying is like it just sounds to start the call off of like, hey,
I understand why you're saying that sounds. I do. I get what you're saying, but also, I think maybe they've developed a pretty keen eye.
Okay, so just to be clear, what we're talking about here, phone call that did not result in an arrest, right? A phone call placed to 911.
So here's
wait, I just want to make sure that we're giving the facts correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And there were 4 people that were holding geese walking through the park.
That seems like it, yeah.
Okay.
Now, what about the dozens of people who are going to their city council meetings, like imploring their leaders to do something, all saying that this is happening?
I don't know that there's been dozens. There have been a couple. And
many of whom are women, and I'm told we believe all of them, unless we don't do that anymore.
Now, the first person, because I looked into, because I want to know, are they eating the pets? The first person that went to this rally or to the city council meeting and started talking about it is an avowed neo-Nazi. Like, that's literally what he calls himself. And I forget the name, it's called something Blood Pride. I forget what the name of the organization is, but he's an avowed neo-Nazi. Like, he marches with swastikas. And he was the first person that said that. I'm not saying that
Blood Tribe.
There we go. I'm not saying that having a heavy population of immigrants doesn't put strains on places. I grew up in a place that was about 50% immigrants, many of them illegal, many of them from El Salvador, Peru, Bolivia, Costa Rica, Guatemala, like Central and South America. And it did put strains on some of our local infrastructure for sure. But I don't know that they're eating the dogs and the cats. And I don't know why this Haitian population in Springfield eating geese potentially from a park is now a national story that a president is going to care about.
Do you like...
Because it gets people emotional. That's the only reason why.
He did say they're eating your pets. They're eating your cats and dogs.
And that people riled up.
But that hasn't happened, because I saw the one police report of a woman that killed a cat. She was not Haitian. She was an American, and she lived like 120 miles away.
So I can't speak to the dogs and cats, but it seems pretty reliable that something is going on, at least with geese and ducks that they're taking out of parks.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, why are you laughing?
That's some funny ass. That's what you just said.
It is absurd that
it's absurd. I agree. It's insane.
You believe that Haitians are targeting ducks and geese? Like, you believe this?
What do you mean targeting?
I mean, so like Haitian immigrants kill geese and ducks and dogs and cats and they eat them. Like, this is what you believe?
I don't know. That's what the people who live there are saying they're doing.
If we don't know, why are we asserting these things? I don't know either, and I couldn't care less. Honestly, there is plenty of restaurants where you can go in and eat duck and eat this shit. Right? This it's a thing. So it's like it's just a story dredged up to cause division, brother. That's all this is. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Because the underlying theme is what? Immigrants coming to disrupt your culture. That's the underlying theme. That is what's going on. And so they're trying to say, hey, immigrants bad because of this. That is the core message, dog. And if you don't say, to me, like when I hear you, I'm like, dog, it's just, one, it's uninformed because you don't know. You just said that. And I agree. I don't know.
All I know is what the people who live there are saying, seemingly in very large numbers, what is happening.
I don't think it's very large numbers. I think it's like 1 or 2 people, and
well, that's provably
okay. Give me your max number. This has happened to. This is my.
I have no idea.
The city manager said that.
Let's say it hadn't happened.
The chief of police.
The city manager said no cats had been eaten, which is a very narrowly defined vertical.
The chief of police also said it.
Do you think it behooves them to say that?
The chief of police
I'm sure they have no proof that a cat has been eaten. I believe that.
Yeah.
They didn't say anything else about all the other claims.
About the ducks and the geese.
Yes.
So
Okay.
let's say 10 ducks, 10 geese, 10 cats, and 10 dogs have been murdered, killed, and eaten.
Then that should be the biggest story in America.
That should be the biggest story in America?
If there was a group of people living in the town you live in, going into people's homes and killing their pets, you don't think that should be a story?
No.
That's crazy.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Sure, it should be a story, but it's only a story if you like reading bad news. It's not a story that should be in the middle of a policy debate. It should not, because it's not.
Well, it has a lot to do with policy.
It's not affecting America, dog. Nobody's going.
It is affecting America.
Nobody's taking your dog, Big T. There's nobody going into your house and taking your dog.
Probably not.
And you don't have any evidence that has happened at all. So why are we?
Okay, get off the dog. Let me ask you something. If there, so you seem to, the dogs and cats, put that aside. If there's a group of people in your town,
that's what the former president said on the national.
Yes, I understand.
Eating your dogs.
Yes, and he didn't have the proof for that, and he should have kept it a little more narrow. But if there is a group of people in your town going around to the park that you take your kids to and snapping ducks' necks in front of them and walking around with them, is that something you want where you live?
If you're asking me, dog, I don't give a fuck. I don't care about animals like that. We already had this discussion. I don't care. You eat animals every single day at lunch. It's out of the norm. Yes, it's out of the norm. Is it something you always see? No. But there's people that go duck hunting and shoot them out of the sky 30 miles outside of the city, 40 miles outside of the city. All I'm saying is, like, is it a disruption of the societal norm? Yes. Is it enough to pin Haitians as that? No, I know Haitians. I know these people. Like, there's good people. There's good, hardworking people. And to typecast a Haitian immigrant as somebody who eats pets, steals and eats your pets is fucking ridiculous, dog. It's
I don't
ridiculous.
think anyone had ever dreamed of doing that until these people said it was happening.
All right, so is it your belief that Haitian immigrants have a propensity to eat your pets? Is that your belief?
A propensity? No.
Then if it's not a propensity, it's a one-off, because there was a woman up there in Ohio that also ate a cat. Now are you gonna run around and say all black people eat cats? No,
nobody is. You are generalizing.
You are generalizing.
No. I'm just all I'm saying is it seems really weird to me that the people in this town, where there is a large concentration of this group that has moved in, seem to say all this stuff is happening. It seems really weird that they would all just make it up. Maybe they are.
I don't see how as adults.
Maybe they are.
Compartmentalize. There is a people that persons that do things, and then there's a people. You know what I mean? Like, Haitians aren't trying to eat your pets. If there's people that are eating your pets and happen to be Haitian, there is no correlation, and drawing that correlation is dangerous and divisive and pointless. That is the problem. But you're gonna say Haitians.
Hang on. If you just said,
you know any Haitians?
I don't think so.
I got my hair done by Haitian. The box braids. You remember that?
You got what?
She did a great job. Shout out Natty. The box braids that I had like 2 summers ago.
All I'm saying is, like, Doug, when you know people that are affected by these terms that people are throwing out, like, it hits different.
Nobody is saying that every person from Haiti is trying to eat pets.
Why say Haitians then?
Because those are the people there that are being accused of doing it.
There's a black woman from America that ate a pet. Why are you not say black women or black people eat pets?
I'm not saying all Haitians. I'm not. First of all, I don't think I've ever.
Wrong, Big T. Right or wrong. The only evidence you have of somebody eating a pet is not Haitian, correct?
That seems to be true.
So why are you then typecasting?
Listen, I didn't say. Pets? I said this might not be happening. But it seems really weird if it's not.
I feel you, man.
Do you think it's more? So just to be clear, you think it's more likely that all these people completely made it up?
I have no clue, which is why I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, so we agree then.
Okay,
so I think it's probably less likely that they made it up out of thin air.
Okay, so Big T, I spent a long time looking for people making these claims, and the actual people that are making these claims, I've found 2 people from a city council meeting. one of which is a neo-Nazi. Like, I'm not using that in the terms of like calling anybody that you disagree with a Nazi. He is a Nazi.
Send me that guy's name.
Okay, Mad Dog, do you have it pulled up? Because you just looked it up a second ago.
That's a wild thing to say after that.
Yeah. And then the second person is that woman. I did see the clip of that woman that was talking about the city council. So those are the two. And then there was a 911 call that was that resulted in no police evidence after the fact, besides documenting the 911 call. And then the mayor said that, let's see, I'm looking them up. Springfield Mayor Rob Rue said Monday he has had no conversations with the Ohio Attorney General, who is investigating this, but the city appreciates any help that it can get. But he has not seen any evidence about any of this.
Okay, again, I don't
that's
care.
the mayor.
I don't care about the pets. I think you guys are
And the
doing a
chief
good
of-
job framing this as the dogs and cats.
No, Trump.
I
literally said
understand that.
Yeah, okay.
We've been over that.
Okay.
If there are people of any descent, creed, origin, whatever you want, going around to town, snapping the necks of ducks and geese in the park, I don't want that.
Okay.
I think that's relatively fair.
I think it's fair to say that you don't want.
And I think if there is a sudden influx of those people into a town, it starts to become a normal enough occurrence that a lot of people in the town are like, hey, can you please do something about this? That's a problem.
Okay. I think snapping ducks' necks in a park is a great thing to deal with at a city level and at a state level, and something that can probably be fixed with that. The immigration from Haiti, these are not illegal immigrants. The immigrants from Haiti are legal immigrants.
I never said they were illegal.
I know, no,
They
I'm
have
just-
temporary protected status, which is something from the federal government.
Yes. I'm saying that like this is not an illegal immigration article. This is not issue. It's not a border issue. It's whether or not the immigrants from Haiti deserve to be here on a protected immigrant status because of the political turmoil and all the natural disasters that have hit Haiti, where people are living on the streets in like terrible, terrible conditions. Should we take those people in or not? That's what this issue is. But what it's kind of become is it's blended with the illegal immigration debate. And it's not about illegal immigrants in this case. It's about a specific policy, about a specific country where people are living in like the worst conditions you could ever imagine. Should we take them in? We have jobs in our town that they can work at. We have room for them in this town. Should that town take those immigrants in? That's what it's about. And I know, like, I'm going to go back to just my experience real quick, but where I grew up, it was mostly people from El Salvador. And it was, you had the good and the bad. You had MS-13 becoming a very big presence in my hometown and in my county growing up, which is a pretty brutal street gang. They, for the most part in my town, they just kept their shit to themselves and they didn't like fuck with anybody else that lived in the town if you weren't in the gang or weren't associated with the gang. But then you also had thousands of people and families that like worked day labor jobs, and their kids went to school with us and they were there illegally, but they fled a civil war that we started, by the way, in El Salvador. And they fled the civil war to come to America, and they were just going to work and trying to do a good job for their families. So you have good and the bad with any migrant population. With the Haitian population specifically in Ohio, if the bad is that they're snapping if dozens of ducks' necks have been snapped, I don't think that necessarily becomes a big talking point in terms of federal debate and policy.
But do you think that doesn't mean that there could be maybe a broader impact on the town's culture?
I think it's possible.
Psyche?
It's possible, but I don't necessarily think that this is something that the president of the United States should be spending a lot of time on.
Maybe not.
The ducks. So if we've got hundreds and thousands of ducks,
should anyone spend time on it?
If like what define the problem to me? If it happens like once or twice, I think you probably increase the police presence in that park, and you tell people you're not allowed to kill these ducks.
Okay. What if it's happening a lot?
Define a lot.
I don't know. Whatever number you want to be a lot.
How many ducks and geese have died?
How many ducks
I have
is
no
too
idea.
many?
Yeah, how many is too many?
One's too many. No,
Okay.
if it was like, I don't know,
Say it's happened 100 times.
100 times in like 2 weeks. So there's a lot of people in
That
this
would be a
park.
lot. We agree.
That would be a lot. Again, at that point, I think you could deal with like an increased police presence and just say, we're going to arrest you if you kill these ducks. And then,
Okay.
and then I think that's the end of that.
Okay.
You don't think so?
No, I disagree.
You don't think like 8
What
or
do you
10
do?
police officers that are posted up at the park would dissuade people from doing that?
I don't know. Maybe.
What is the ideal plan to stop these Haitians from snapping ducks' necks?
Well, you're not going to like the ideal plan.
Let's hear it.
Do not bring an influx of Haitians into a town that are snapping the ducks' necks.
How when you're doing the immigration process, because you said they are legal, right? So when you're coming through the immigration process, how do you know whether one has a duck snapping problem or not?
I don't know.
So how do you do that?
Well, it seems like it could be a cultural thing.
Okay.
I think it's fair to say that in Haiti and the conditions that people are living in, they have food sources that are different from ours. They've
I
got
agree.
different cultures and different traditions that are different from ours, just like you would have from any other country. But the conditions that they're in probably make their desperation a little bit more when they're in Haiti, and they might eat some things that we don't necessarily eat here in the United States.
We eat duck.
We do eat duck, yeah, and we eat goose.
Yeah. And we
But-
hunt. This is what kills me about Americans. Like they like their violence in the vacuum that they like their violence. Like I said, I'll preface it. I do understand disrupting social accord. I understand that. It makes but it's all made up. Like we all made this shit up, bro. Like I said, you go 30 miles outside the city, they shooting ducks. They shooting deer for fun with guns. But
yeah,
that's okay.
and I wouldn't
that's
want that
okay.
happening in like the middle of town in front of people.
But this is what I'm saying. If it don't even matter, bro. You're right. Fuck all that. Fuck all the Haitians.
No.
Get 'em outta here.
What? No. What were you
Get
gonna
them out of
say?
here, dog. Get them out of here. Get these duck neck snapping Haitians the fuck out of America, Jack.
I've
Not in my America.
I have a prediction to make, and I might be wrong about this, but if we're thinking about this along the same lines as the Venezuelan gang that took over an apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado, that whole story, which I dove pretty deep into that, and there are Venezuelan gang members that live in Aurora, and there is one apartment complex owner that says that there are too many of them in his apartment complex, and he's going to have to sell his apartment complex. When that story came out, it made it seem like they were kicking people out of their apartments at gunpoint, like normal citizens that live there. What happened after that was like the story about that happening in Chicago, which wasn't true. And somebody did like a 911 call, and they said, here's the proof. Somebody called into 911, and then the police went over there. There was nothing there. And in that part of town in Chicago, if that was actually like you had people from Chicago that were driving by and outside Chicago that drove to Chicago to see, like, let me see this Venezuelan gang that took over. And there was nothing that was going on. I think that you're going to get people that will make police reports that don't live in Springfield saying like, yeah, I just saw some Haitians, more ducks.
Well, that's a crime, and they should go to jail.
I think that might happen. I might be wrong, but that's where I see this going.
I doubt that severely, and if that happens, those people should go to jail for filing a false police report.
So what we've discovered is people are not eating pets. They're not stealing your pets. I do agree with Big T that if there were like hundreds of dogs that were being like pet dogs that were being taken from people's backyards and inside their homes in a city, that's a pretty big deal. Like, that's scary. You don't want to deal with that. And if you're living out of town, you're probably terrified. If it happened to you, that's probably a terrible experience that you went through, and it shouldn't happen. But that hasn't happened. So we're getting pretty mad about stuff that hasn't happened.
I think that's the thing. I think I just want to live in a world where like we don't fall for this shit anymore. Like, it's so clear what each side is doing, and it's just so frustrating to me because it's like me and you get along great, Big T, but when shit like this pop up, it's like the anger ensues or whatever, the combativeness. when it's just so clear what's happening. Republicans love to tout the immigration shit, and like it falls into these culture wars that are just not productive, and there's just no point. I guess I'm growing tired of like seeing the same play run over and over and over. Like it's just so frustrating, dog. I don't know, man.
I agree with everything you said up until there's no point. I agree it's a play that's being run. I agree that it is meant to divide people, but there is a point.
Yeah, to divide us.
So
It's literally
but I think there's a point in what's happening.
What's the point?
I think there is an immigration issue in this country. I think most people would agree with that. Now, separate that from, this is a slightly different thing than all the illegal immigrants coming from Mexico and South America, but there's an immigration crisis in this country currently.
Okay.
Which Kamala said wasn't happening until she was running for president, and now she's going to fix the issue that didn't exist.
So I think I can.
All right.
I think I can trace a direct line as to how this became a story that Donald Trump's talking about, and there's an incentive now to make people angry online, on Twitter, on X, and people with monetized accounts that they understand that the most interactions that they get and the more money, direct money they get at the end of the month from X comes from making people angry. So they will find videos of a black woman eating a cat or who has eaten a cat in Canton, Ohio, and then they will label her as being an immigrant. And then they know that that will get spread far and wide by people who also like to get mad at things online. And then eventually this trickles up until you have advisors for presidential candidates telling people like, hey, this is what they're talking about online now. This is what people care about. And then it gets brought up at a presidential debate. One of the advisors to Trump is now Laura Loomer. And I've followed her. I've been a big fan of Laura Loomer for like 10 years because she's a fucking psycho. She's been insane for a very long time. I probably shouldn't use the word insane. She does have mental health documented severe issues.
Oh, does she really?
Yeah. I think she's bipolar. She's got severe anxiety, severe depression. But she's been through it online. When she was in college, she tried to start an ISIS fan club at her college under the pretense that I go to a liberal school, so libs will sign up and they'll become members of my ISIS fan club, and then I'll use that to show everybody what a crazy college I go to is. So she tried to start an ISIS club at her college, and she got kicked out of school. The dean was like, "No, you can't do this."
That's just hilarious, dog.
And yeah, so she's a weirdo, and now she's become, because she's like a very, very ardent, very online supporter of Trump. Trump has brought her into the circle, where now she was advising him before the debate on the plane. And I think she sees all the craziest stuff that people post online to make other people mad. And she's like, this is what people are talking about. This is an issue. You should talk about this. And then he ends up saying it on national television. But the fact that it doesn't exist is like wild to me. That I'm not talking about the ducks. There may have been ducks necks that were snapped. But the fact that they're eating your pets, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats in Springfield, Ohio. I think that's a direct line from her to the people who are being paid now money on X to just get as many retweets and likes and shares as possible. I think that's where it's coming from.
Okay. I mean, some of the people that live there disagree with you, but
yeah,
maybe that's true.
I would, if it is happening, now we're talking about the ducks, right? Not the dogs.
I don't know. Just the whole situation.
Because there hasn't been anybody that's reported their dog or cat being kidnapped and eaten. Correct?
Sure.
Okay. But the ducks, if it is happening, and I've seen 2 people that have said it, there might be more. If it is happening, then I think that's still a very far cry from they're breaking into your homes and they're stealing your dogs.
That you didn't bring this up, but that's not happening apparently. But the other thing that's not happening was Kamala supporting taxpayer-funded gender reassignment surgery for migrants in detention.
Yeah, I read up on that too.
Yeah, that is happening. One of the questions put to Ms. Harris in 2019 was whether as president she would ensure transgender and non-binary people who rely on state medical care, quote, including those in prison and immigration detention, end quote, would have access to gender transition surgery. Ms. Harris answered yes before adding, quote, it is important that transgender individuals who rely on the state for care receive the treatment they need, which include access to treatment associated with gender transition. Now, last night, there were like Democratic members of Congress tweeting like, how stupid can you possibly be for thinking that she supports something like this? She does. She said it. So that's another thing that's not happening, apparently.
She did fill that out in the questionnaire.
So there are a lot of things that aren't happening that seem to be happening.
I would like to see if she was asked that, like, specifically about people that are in prison, if it wasn't just
very clearly delineates.
But it was including. So I'm saying, like, specifically people in prison.
It is important that transgender individuals who rely on the state for care.
That is a very strange thing for the federal government to be spending money on specifically, is like, if you're in prison and you want to get a gender reassignment surgery, we're going to pay for it.
She supports it.
I think that probably 90% of America would be like, we don't need to spend our money on that.
Not Kamala.
Like, if you want to change sex or genders and you want to do that on your own,
bro, again,
live your life.
Is so fucking stupid. How many prison-funded gender reassignment surgeries has there been?
Ideally, 0.
So what are we talking about, bro? Like, why do you?
Well, no,
care
I'm sure they have existed. I'm saying, how many should there be? 0.
How many have happened, brother?
I have no idea. But
So
she supports it for those who want it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why is this on your docket of shit that you actually give a fuck
Because
about? This is
one,
so fascinating.
do you want me to answer that question? I'll answer it.
Please. Bro,
One,
please.
because that's insane. And 2, more importantly, because the left says that's not happening. You're lying. And
Has it happened?
Has it happened that she said she supports that? Yes, unequivocally.
Has that happened?
She's not president yet.
How many things? Okay, so you think in Big T's world, Kamala Harris becomes president of the United States. Do you believe that she's a Marxist?
No, not by.
Okay.
No.
The definition. Do you believe that she's gonna spend taxpayer money to fund gender reassignment surgery?
It seems possible. She said she supports that.
Okay. And like, how will that affect your life?
It will piss me off.
So the problem is you, bro.
That's the problem?
Yeah, dog.
Okay. Then I'm the problem.
Okay. Are you cool with like innocent people getting killed overseas? You cool with that?
No.
Does that piss you off?
Yeah, it's not great.
So you pissed off about that?
Depends.
Because I have yet to hear you talk about all the innocent lives being lost overseas. I've yet to hear that. But you talk about something that has not happened and probably will not happen. Like, politicians run off of like hype and waves and people and making people upset and getting people on your side. The majority of shit that politicians run on, going back to name a president, they don't get done because they're not kings. They can't just do what they want. It has to go through Congress. It has to go through all of these stages. And yeah, they can sign executive orders, but it can be reversed. It is a long, arduous process. But to pretend like she's just gonna come in and rewire your world, it's just asinine.
Again, the more important part of the thing was just that's one of those things where like, that's not happening. You're crazy. You're lying, and it's completely true. And that's the entire playbook. It's not happening. It's happening a little bit.
All right.
It's happening and it's good.
Maybe we can agree
It's
on
happening,
this,
and if you don't participate, you're a bigot. That's the timeline.
All right. Well, maybe we can agree on this. You know I'm not a fan of Kamala, right? No, I'm not a fan. Okay. And you know I'm not a fan of Joe Biden, right? And I have critiqued them an immense amount on this show, correct? You have yet to bring up any of Trump's lies.
We've talked about them.
Let's talk about Trump's lies then. What do you feel like he lied about?
I mean, I'd have to go back and look, but he told plenty of things that were not true. We've talked about them.
So the notes that you took was all But this is what I'm saying,
well,
bro.
Generally, yeah. I said he was. What?
That's what I'm saying. I think we agree, and I use you as like my proxy conservative outlet because I don't think the left and the right are that far apart on certain issues, but we spend the majority of our time talking about shit that does not matter, dog. It does not matter. Like that shit does not matter. Like,
See,
it's not gonna,
I'm the complete inverse of you. I think
That
for
shit
the
does
most part, everything that the government focuses on is only really going to change several degrees economically and, otherwise. I think the cultural aspect of politics is infinitely more important. That affects you far more in your daily life than a bill going through Congress, for the most part.
and what do you mean? Like, cultural aspects of politics? What do you mean?
Like all the issues we talk about that you say don't matter, like those are affecting your day-to-day life more than the economic.
So if transgender people, or if you get transgender reassignment surgery in prison, that affects your life.
Okay, no, but teachers in public schools talking about transgender issues and all that stuff affects your life far more than a lot of stuff does.
I have kids, like they don't, one, but two,
Well, that's another thing that is, quote, not happening.
it's not happening.
Yes, it is.
It is not. I have 5 kids, dog. I have them. I have
I'm
nieces.
I'm sure Texas is one of the places that
of-
it's probably happening less.
3. Okay, I have my sister teaches in Georgia. I have another sister that teaches in Alabama. And so
You're naming some places where it's probably going to be minimal.
my ex is from Portland, Oregon, where she was teaching, and none of this shit was happening. So it's like, this is my point. It's like, y'all will find like a teacher that does some weird shit and be like, this is happening, when that's not the case. There's a curriculum that's taught. This is what I'm saying. Like, it's not the case. They bang for curriculum modifications legislatively. It's just not affecting your life. And like, there are certain things that do, right? So abortion, that is something that we disagree on. That I understand that, like, you're on your side, I'm on my side, and like, that is a very contentious issue that will affect people's life. Absolutely. Probably not mine or yours, unless somebody gets raped or so something like that happens, or unless somebody else that can't have a child or whatever the case may be. Like, then it'll affect your life. But the majority of these issues will not and won't. Like, they just not going, like, people eating cats up there is not going to fuck with you, bro. It's just not going to happen. And then I think I know I've beaten a dead horse there. It's just like, I don't know, dog. Like, I feel like you getting caught up in the wrong side of these talks and these debates. Like, you have to sift through that bullshit. It's all entertainment. It's just all entertainment. Sift through that shit and find the policies that you like, the actual policies. They're not going to sign none of that shit into law.
I think a lot of people get more invested in the culture part of politics and it does affect their day-to-day life, in that they're talking to people at work, after work. They're like, can you believe so-and-so said this? And then that becomes a part of your life because it's part of your discussions that you're having with your friends, colleagues, coworkers, neighbors, that sort of thing. So you do talk about it a lot, even though the actual root problem that you're thinking of might not pop up in your specific life outside of you having conversations about it. And you like to see your side get a win over the other side. It's like, yeah, do you see this person owned that person on this topic? And then it becomes just, something that it does become part of your life because you think about it a lot. But
it's like escape. It's like reality TV show.
Yeah, and I don't know enough about the policy on what is and isn't taught in schools, but I do know that for the most part, teachers and counselors are like, hey, everybody's okay, which is kind of what we've been taught when we were growing up too. It's like, no matter who you are, look, here's a story about 3 lions, and they all have different colored manes. And if a lion has an orange mane, that's fine. If a lion has a blue mane, that's fine. Being different makes us better. That's like...
Do you really believe that?
I think that's for the most part. And if a kid goes to a counselor at school and is like, I have questions about my gender identity, can I talk to you about it? Then that counselor can talk to the child in confidence without sharing any of the conversation that they're having unless there's a direct threat of harm to the kid or somebody else. So they don't necessarily have to tell the parents if a kid comes to them with those types of questions. They can have a conversation about like, hey, you're feeling confused about something. Tell me more about that. And they can have that conversation without the kid being afraid that the counselor is going to tell people that they don't want to know. But I don't know. That's my understanding, and I might very well be wrong about that.
My thing is, bro, it's like E said earlier. Like these accounts, these libs of TikToks, these Sean Hannity's, these I don't know, name somebody on the left. Okay, Hassan, all these
How do you pronounce that guy's name?
Oh, who cares?
So Laura Loomer is like if you gave Harry a brain injury and then had him being like Kamala's debate prep advisor. That's what we're dealing with there. But people that become like just commentators online, I don't think have any business in politics at all.
They're eroding the very fabric of who we are as human beings, dog. We are always going to disagree about shit, but there's no point in highlighting the lows of any side. It's just stupid. And it's like, I don't know, it just gets me very depressed, dog. Because it don't need to be like this. It don't need to be like this.
We will be on Duck and Goose Watch, though. And dogs, for that matter.
That was one of my favorite games growing up, Duck Hunt.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Duck, Duck, Goose.
No, I was killing it. Can't nobody touch me.
Yeah, it's true.
Imagine
Arian Foster.
Undefeated in Duck, Duck, Goose.
What the balls you would have to tap Arian Foster on the head and say goose in a game of Duck, Duck, Goose.
But they didn't know that back then. You know what I'm saying? I was just the fast one. So it was a challenge. They tried it.
Yeah, it's a kid's like first day in class, and they're Red Rover send Arian Foster over, and just truck stick their arms.
I forgot Red Rover, dog. That shit started a lot of fights.
Yeah, it's a physical game.
That shit. Do they still let kids do Red Rover?
I don't know. You end up getting clotheslined.
Different generation.
Did you know that Duck, Duck, Goose is not called Duck, Duck, Goose in Minnesota?
What's it called?
Duck, Duck, Gray Duck.
No way.
My friend is from Minnesota, and we asked her this the other day, and she confirmed.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a different name.
Duck, Duck, Gray Duck. Wow. That's
pretty wild,
up.
right?
It's a Minnesota thing. Shout out Tim Walsh.
Old Timmy.
Are they doing a VP debate?
I believe so.
Yeah, and I think they're going to do another presidential debate too.
No, they're not.
Or Kamala wants one.
Oh God.
She wants one, and then Trump is trying to figure out whether or not he's going to do it. I think he wants to have it like on his home field. I think Fox News is what he's angling for because of the moderator situation on ABC.
Shout out David Muir, Ithaca College grad.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I would like to see another debate.
Why?
It gives us content. You never know what they're going to say.
That was a wild night. I didn't watch like half of it though. I couldn't anymore. I played Valorant. Lost 2 games in a row.
Did you fall off?
I think I am, man. I think I'm just hard stuck diamond. It's just is what it is.
What's that?
They have a ranking system, so it's like it's iron, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, ascendant, immortal, and radiant. And radiant and immortal are like that's where the pros play.
Are you ever gonna get there?
I doubt it, man. These kids are like 18 years old, man. Maybe my reaction time is just the best it's gonna be.
When do you fall off as a gamer?
That's early. I think that's earlier than a running back. I think it's like mid to late 20s.
I think it might be even earlier than that. I feel like 18 to 20-year-olds.
It could be, but like when there's like no gamers like that are 30 that like are like pros and shit. They end up falling off.
Yeah, that's weird.
I saw this video of this like little 12-year-old who's he's a radiant, like so he's like pro level. He's like 12 years old, dog, sitting there in his chair with his feet hanging off, busting domes, dog.
I want to play that game at some point just so I can have a frame of reference to what you talk about.
It's tough. It's so hard. All the nuances to learn. It's tough. It's not like let me hop on the sticks for a 2K game. It's like we have to learn all the different characters, their abilities. But I'm down. I'll be a fan. Hop on with me. I play with you remember MRags?
Yeah,
I play with him sometimes.
he's a cool guy.
Hey, cool dude, man.
I like him rags a lot.
Mhm.
Big T, was there a sheet?
It was just the debate,
Just the debate.
and your hair growth journey.
The hair growth journey, yeah. Which, by the way, people keep asking me for the hair reveal. You can't get the hair reveal yet. The hair's not there yet.
How
Yeah,
long?
does it take?
Yeah.
You'll see some from what I know, and every patient's different. You'll see some results. Well, first, like little baby hairs coming in like 3 months, and then those are going to fall out, and then the real hairs are going to come in, and then I should have like noticeable difference in like 6 to 7 months, and then full results by like a year. So
Okay.
it is going to be a journey.
That is a journey. It's-
You know who
we-
was doing numbers last night though?
Who's that?
John Rothstein.
Oh, because he was tweeting college basketball.
Yeah.
I should have checked. What was he tweeting out?
Oh,
during the
dude, he
debates?
put out several. Let me find where the debate starts. Okay. At 8:03
Mhm.
Central, 3 minutes after the debate starts. Source: Iowa will host Northwestern on December 3rd as part of its early Big Ten schedule. Peyton Sanford against Brooks Barnheiser. He did a couple more Big Ten. Indiana's hosting Minnesota on December 9th. Georgetown will open Big East play against Creighton on December 18th. He put out some bangers.
So I assume that he has to have these ready to go.
Yeah,
On debate
he
night,
had
right?
those ready.
Like whenever he probably has an entire file of like if something big happens in the world. Like if Russia drops a nuke on eastern Ukraine, here's what I can say about the Mountain West Conference this year.
Because those went out at 8, 8:30, and 9, so he had those scheduled.
Yeah, which is, I mean, that's a baller move by John because he was sitting on him and he knew that nobody else was going to put him out there.
Mhm.
Like he knew that he and only he had those scoops. Has anybody done a screenshot of that yet?
I'm sure. I don't know.
I'm going to take a screenshot of John Rothstein's debate tweets last night.
Somebody responded to David Muir and John Rothstein, both products of Ithaca College and both equally hard at work tonight. He said, "Does David Muir work in college basketball media? Not familiar with his work."
I didn't
Who's
know
David
John
Muir?
Rothstein went to Ithaca.
He was one of the moderators last night.
Oh, okay.
The male
Got you.
at birth. I don't know how he identifies.
Did you guys talk about the Tyreek Hill situation at all? Oh, it's John Rothstein's birthday.
Oh my God.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. That's what we'll always remember this day as being. I will never forget that today is John Rothstein's birthday. And Dan Quinn, coach of the Commanders.
Oh yeah, big day.
But yeah, did you guys talk about Tyreek?
No,
no,
it happened.
I don't think
that
so.
happened before, I think. Oh no, we didn't.
Well,
That happened-
but the
okay.
video hadn't come out.
Yeah, the video didn't come out. That's right. No,
So-
we haven't.
My take on Tyreek Hill is if you had given me a list of players that I could see being arrested on their way to an NFL game, Tyreek Hill, I probably would have put in my top 10.
Yeah.
Like most likely. Number 1, I think, is Kadarius Toney.
Cleveland Brown.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Browns legend. It was so when it happened, when it came out, I was like, "Oh shit, what did Tyreek do?" Because he's been in the headlines for like the weirdest shit for the last 5-6 years, and sometimes weird would be quite an understatement. Sometimes violent stuff, but he's just like always in the news. We make a joke on part of my take that each headline about Tyreek Hill seems like a Mad Lib, where it's like something to do with an OnlyFans model, something to do with an online streamer, and like a misdemeanor charge about something. So when he got pulled over, I was like, well, Tyreek Hill, that probably checks out. Not really shocked. I'm not surprised that he's not super careful in traffic. And then the videos came out of the arrest, and what appeared to happen was that a cop on a motorcycle was driving one way, and Tyreek drove the other way down the road. The cop saw the car go by, and he said he gave a visual estimation of 60 miles an hour, which means that he doesn't know how fast he was going. But it looked like it was faster than all the other cars on the road. And I will agree with that. I saw the video. Tyreek's car was going faster than other cars. It was not going 100 miles per hour, as the initial report said. So the cop pulls his motorcycle around, pulls Tyreek over, asks him for license and all that stuff. Tyreek rolls his window down, says, "Don't bang on my window like that," gives him the license, and then rolls the window back up. And then the cop's like, "Roll your window down or I'm going to break it." And then they're like, "Or we'll just drag you out of the car." "Okay, we'll play it like that." They drag him out of the car, put him on the ground. And it seemed to be like a little bit of an overreaction by the police, because if you watch the Sovereign Citizen videos, which I'm kind of obsessed with, I hate that I like watching them. I like cringe every time. Like, these guys know exactly how to fuck with cops and what you can and can't say to them, and the minimum amount of words that you can say to a police officer during a traffic stop. And Tyreek Hill didn't do anything that the Sovereign Citizens don't do. In fact, the Sovereign Citizens usually are bigger assholes to the cops than Tyreek was.
Oh, yeah.
But from what I saw, Tyreek was probably guilty of speeding and then guilty of not being very nice to the police. But it's not a crime to not be nice to a police officer. And they treated it as if it was a crime. And now I think someone's probably going to get fired from that police department.
Oh, hell no. What?
I think it
They
was
came
high
out with
profile
they came out with
enough.
a statement that said that they followed all protocol.
Because I think Tyreek is going to sue the police department, and as part of the negotiated settlement, they'll say, okay, Tyreek will do some things for the community and to work on building trust, and we're going to fire this police officer, and we'll call it a day. That's my predictive outcome for it.
I'll take that bet. Cop ain't going nowhere.
You don't think so?
People have killed people that got off and still got their job. Hell no.
And then they had two teammates, I think it was Jonnu Smith and Calais Campbell, showed up and started talking to the cops. And Calais Campbell is the ultimate de-escalator because that man is huge.
Is he still playing?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he is a large human being, and he's got like the deepest voice in the world. I forget who it was. I saw somebody, I can't credit them online because I don't know which account it was from, but I saw someone saying like Calais Campbell approached that police officer like a man who has a lot of experience being a large African-American individual approaching small police officers. And that experience paid off for him because he was like backpedaling the entire time, being like super over the top polite. Because there was a cop that looked to be about my size that was on the case. And I'm guessing Calais has had some experience in little dudes with Napoleon syndrome. But yeah, I think it worked out. I think it worked out better than it could have gone. They like let him go and wrote him a ticket. Still probably pretty embarrassing for Tyreek.
Yeah, I guess so. If you care about that type of shit, but he ain't do nothing wrong, really. I mean, he didn't speak to him in the most diplomatic way, but again, that's not a crime. You know,
Yeah,
it's not a crime. They were obviously on an eco trip, and police are supposed to de-escalate, not escalate, and they escalated at every chance they got in that situation. And,
yeah, you don't even have to say anything to the police.
Yeah, you don't. And you don't have to roll your window up after you give them your license either. I mean, roll your window down.
So yeah, I had a question about that. I know that you can crack your window and pass your license through the window, but if you have like a blacked out window, if it's super tinted to the point where the cops can't see inside your car, is that a different law where you have to roll your window down so that they can see what you're doing?
I didn't think so. I could be wrong. Let me check that shit out.
Yeah, that might be where this all came from. Because I do understand from like a police officer's point of view that if you're going up to a car and their window is completely up, you have no idea what's going on inside that car.
Yeah.
You don't think that would be an issue if you were a cop?
But like it depends. That's what I'm saying. So, like, police always get this. I don't know. They get this. It's this power trip, right? So if you come and bang on somebody's window, like you're supposedly a trained police officer, right? You're trained. You train for situations like this. You have been in the field with situations like this. So a man is speeding, right? Which happens every single day, right? It's not like, I I don't know, having a gun waving out the window, shit like that. So a man is speeding, which is a very normal crime to be broken. And then you bang on his window rather than just being, hey, can I get your license registration? Saw you speeding. So the way you approach the situation is very aggressive. And so for somebody that's not trained and given all the police scrutiny in the past 10 years, like you should be cognizant of that. And so I don't know, from my vantage point, it's like you're aggressive for no reason here. And maybe in their training, they know that fast cars with black windows have, I don't know, different consequences. But from my understanding, like most really nice cars ain't involved in a lot of that shit that's going to endanger a police officer. I could be wrong about that though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know what the training is. I don't know what they show them and like how fearful an officer is, how fearful they should be when they go up to a car like that. But I think it's fair to say that they could have handled it a whole lot better than they did. But I do think I think one of the cops will be fired.
Let's take that bet. What do you want to bet?
Yeah. What do you want to bet?
It's on you, dog. What you got?
I would like an Arian Foster autographed jersey.
Okay. I would like 3 pairs of custom PFT sunglasses.
Okay. I'll make that happen.
All right.
You don't want to autograph PFT commenter football jersey?
No, you just suck at football.
That's fair.
Does it have to be an authentic jersey, or can he like get a shitty one?
And not
I actually have a box of them. They sent the Texans about a while back. They sent a bunch of like stock jerseys that they had like in left over. So I got like 12 of them.
Actually, what I would like if I win, I will send you a PFT commenter DC Defenders jersey from when I played briefly on the DC Defenders in the XFL. And then the next time you do your like look back through all these jerseys in the league, like you lift up like I think you had a bracket jersey, Ray Lewis, PFT commenter, Frank Gore.
Right in the middle.
Yeah, you just mix that one in there.
You
It's
just
just
mix
this
that one in
commenter
there.
on the back.
And have you holding the sign as Joe Flacco Elite as the picture in the corner?
Yeah. I think that'd be
That's
good.
what-
That'd be nice.
That's what your picture is on my phone. Is if you hold it up to the side as Joe Flacco Elite on the news.
That was a debate, right?
That was before the first presidential debate in Cleveland. Yeah, that was the Rosie O'Donnell debate.
Oh,
That's
so
just
that was like
hilarious.
2015. That was the
2015.
Republican debates.
Yep.
Okay.
I think it was early August.
Yep, it was because
2015?
all my buddies and I watched it. It was like right before we all went to college, and
Yeah.
we were all watching together. And in the first 2 minutes was the Rosie O'Donnell thing.
Yeah, that was
I think it was the first question.
hell of a debate. And I think afterwards he said that was it Megyn Kelly had blood coming from her eyes, coming from wherever.
Was that the same one?
He said that about that debate later. It
Okay.
was the debate where she had blood coming from
Because she was
whatever.
mad.
Yeah, she was.
And he said, she had blood coming out of her eyes.
Yeah, I think he also said, was that where he was talking about Rand Paul? And he said, I haven't attacked your appearance, and believe me, there's a lot that I could work with there.
I don't know. There were so many of those. Like they did a lot of Republican debates that year because he was gold.
It was funny after the debate, they went to Chris Christie for analysis. He was like, I think Trump did a terrible job in this debate. Chris Christie, you got your ass kicked by Donald Trump in multiple debates, probably 10 debates. He completely emasculated you.
How did Chris Christie become governor of New Jersey?
That's a great question because I think he had the lowest approval rating of any governor. I think it was like single digits. I think it dropped down to like 4%.
Was that after the bridge thing?
It was after the bridge thing, and it was, I think, also after Memorial Day where he shut down all the beaches in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And him and his family.
He was on the beach.
They were the only people in New Jersey that were on the beach.
Because he's not a particularly compelling Republican to begin with, and then he was governor of a pretty staunchly Democratic state.
Yeah, so with Christie, like a lot of people in the Republican Party, they were somewhat well-liked by the National Republican Party until Trump. Until they went head-to-head with Trump, and then they were like, yeah, fuck this guy. He's a clown. Mitt Romney's another guy. He was well-liked by the Republicans until he drew Trump's ire. Jeb Bush, probably like that too. Just like normal people.
How many points would Mitt Romney be up in a poll on Kamala right now?
That's a fair question. I think he might be winning, and I don't.
Oh, he'd be winning by a lot.
And I don't think that Kamala would necessarily beat anybody except for Trump. Who are the other ones that are like so? I guess JD Vance is like a pretty divisive person.
Maybe Ted Cruz. She'd be up on.
I think,
but it's a remarkably short list.
Yeah, very.
This
very
should
few
be a
people.
cakewalk.
It should be, and I think at the end of the day, the Republicans they nominated, like when they were talking about the results from 2020, and he's like, yeah, I got 72 million votes, and then somehow they got like over 80 million. It's like, yeah, a lot of America really doesn't like you. That's kind of how it works. You guys want to talk about orcas?
What a segue.
Okay, we'll do a different set. Well, first we'll go to the air, and then we'll go to the sea.
Well, you were talking about the beach.
Yeah, we'll go to the air first. What do you mean about the beach?
You were talking about beaches a second
ago.
ago.
I just wanted to shoehorn in a comment about the F-16s in Ukraine.
I'm
Chris Christie didn't Chris Christie shut down a beach during COVID and him and his family went on it?
Where you been?
It was not COVID. It was when he was governor of New Jersey. He shut down all the beaches. And the weird thing about the beaches in New Jersey, which I didn't realize until I spent a summer there, you have to pay to go on the beach in New Jersey.
That's insane.
Yeah. You get like an admission to go on the beach.
Is that to the government?
That's the state government takes that money and then they use it to fund cleaning up the beach and paying the lifeguards.
Crazy.
Yeah. Maybe some other stuff too. It's New Jersey after all. I'm sure a couple of those pennies.
Well, how much do you have to pay?
Trucks. I want to say it's $10
a person.
I think so.
Oh, that's outrageous.
Yeah, I think it's like $5 or $10.
That's crazy.
But if you live there for the entire summer, you can get a resident tag, which I had, and so you pay like $150, and you can go as many times as you want.
That's insanity.
But yeah,
Cost of visiting a beach in New Jersey depends on the town and type of pass you purchase. Daily passes, some beaches charge daily passes, which can range from $3.50 to $13. Seasonal badges, some beaches offer seasonal badges, which could cost up to $150. Early bird discounts, some towns offer early bird discounts, may expire before Memorial Day. Senior discounts. Damn.
I've never heard of such.
Yep. You can't go on the beach. You have to pay to go on the beach in New Jersey. And he shut that down. So nobody was allowed on the beach except him and his direct family went out there Memorial Day weekend, set up their lawn chairs, and had a good time at the beach. Which it's a dickhead move to do, but at the same time, you kind of respect the temerity of an individual to be able to say, like, I'm the only one that can use the beach in my entire state because I'm the governor.
Damn.
Pretty much a self-appointed king.
He actually said, I saw him on a clip. He was talking about he was Trump's debate prep against Biden. Like he was like the dude that coached him or whatever. And he said he took it very seriously and yada yada yada. The first one anyway. And I think when he's talking about the one with Biden and Kamala, like he didn't coach him. He said, I don't think he took it very seriously.
No.
That's what he was saying.
I would like to see the actor that Kamala had playing Trump.
Yeah, me too. Who do you think she should get?
I don't know, but they said they had somebody who like does a really good Trump impression.
Who's a dude? There's a couple comedians that do a really good Trump impression.
Shane Gillis.
Shane Gillis, I think.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
There's a couple others.
So funny.
Yeah, it'd be hard to keep a straight face.
Shane Gillis is the one prepping Kamala.
That's gay.
They just have her on the Kill Tony stage.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to talk about the F-16s real quick. F-16 got lost. I almost said shot down. That would have been not true. It crashed because it was chasing cruise missiles. This is pretty awesome. So the F-16s are now chasing cruise missiles and shooting them with their cannons because Russia's lobbing like hundreds of them over into the Ukraine. So they go up in their jets and then they find a missile on radar. Then they chase the missile down and they shoot it with their gun out of the sky. I think that kind of rocks. But this one guy, after he shot down like 4, he crashed. So RIP to that guy. That's all I have to say about that. It rocks.
Okay.
It rocks that they're chasing down missiles and shooting them out of the sky. It's very cool. And the Ukrainian pilots are training on the F-16s using virtual reality simulators, which I want to get for this office. The company Dogfight Boss, if you're out there, please send one of your VR simulators to the Barstool Sports office so that we can also train on these things.
What does one of those run?
I don't know. My guess would be 200, 300,000.
Oh, U.S.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm guessing. I'm thinking what the golf simulator costs. Probably a little bit north of that. But you get the cockpit. You get everything.
How much was the golf simulator?
I want to say 75.
It was that much?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, them things is more expensive than I thought they were. I was gonna get one in my house, but they was talking about the TrackMan alone, the thing that tracks it. Like there's different variations. I got something called what is it called? I forget, but it was like $5,000, which is a lot, right? The TrackMan, the one like the pros use, that shit's like 22 racks alone. And then the monitor, and then all the build out. I was like, this is not worth it, bro. Let's go to the driving range.
Yeah, it is. And when it breaks down, you got to call them to have it like serviced in your own house. That sounds like a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
This one's been pretty good though. I don't think we've had too much downtime at all in it. Shout out Golf Zone, did a great job. Arian, you probably haven't seen the clip yet, but we did an interview with Scotty Scheffler the other day. Actually, very cool guy.
Yeah.
I like Scotty a lot. And he was saying that on Sunday mornings, him and his wife watch Barstool Sports Advisors with Stu Feiner, and they fucking love Stu Feiner. They're obsessed with Stu Feiner. So they'll watch Stu, and then they'll go to church right afterwards to atone for all their sins watching Stu, which is very funny because like,
let me just Google it.
Oh, you don't know Stu?
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know that they've ever crossed paths.
Yeah, you would love Stu.
I'm sure he'll be here for a day when you're here for Surviving Barstool.
Yeah.
He's
bald? Is bald?
Yeah,
Or
yeah, short and bald.
okay.
he's not bald, is he?
He's got short hair.
Very little hair. Yeah, very little.
Yeah.
It was the angle. White.
He's a character though.
He is the definition of a real life character. His thing is he always talks about 15, 15, 30, which is his code for great sex. And 15 minutes doing something, 15 minutes doing something else, 30 minutes doing the final thing. And Scotty was saying that him and his wife crack up when they hear him talk about the magic numbers of sex. And then they go to church, which is so funny because Scotty is like the most clean-cut individual ever.
Yeah. Is
it better? Sorry. Is it
No, go
better
ahead.
to go to church having just watched that,
Yes.
or watch it after getting home from church? You go into church with a clear conscience and mind.
No, I think it's better to atone for everything by going to church right afterwards. Because if you left church and the first thing that you did was watch Stu, then you're like, I'm
Maybe go to
being
lunch
fraudulent.
in between.
Yeah.
Church, lunch. Then you can go home and watch Stu. But then by then the games are starting. So.
Yeah, you do have to have some separation, I think, between walking out of church and then watching Stu talk about 15, 15, 30.
Yeah. It's an interesting dichotomy.
Before we get to Orcas, Killer Whales, they're presented by Pardon My Cheesesteak. It has 0% Orca in the meat. That's a PFT guarantee. Football's back. Ordering Pardon My Cheesesteak for your game day meal or your late night eats is the best play call you can make. Pardon My Cheesesteak brings you awesome cheesesteaks, loaded fries delivered right to your doorstep. Take your pick of delicious cheesesteaks made with fresh, thin sliced steak, melted provolone, mouth-watering cheese sauce, and caramelized onions, all on a toasted hoagie roll. We got classic cheesesteaks, chipotle cheesesteaks, chicken cheesesteaks, chipotle chicken cheesesteaks, buffalo chicken cheesesteaks, and chicken bacon ranch cheesesteaks. You can order the popular Big Cat combo, get your cheesesteak of choice, fries, and a drink. For dessert, try the donut dippers. Delicious donut holes tossed in cinnamon sugar and served with a rich caramel sauce. Find a Part of My Cheesesteak near you. Order yours now at partofmycheesesteak.com. Use code MACRO10 and you get $10 off orders of $30 or more. There you go, $10 in your pocket. Just use promo code MACRO10 and you get $10 off an order of $30 or more. Don't forget that promo code. Save yourself some money. Get a cheesesteak. My favorite, I like the chipotle cheesesteak. It's nice and spicy. The chicken bacon ranch is also delicious. And the donut dippers are fantastic too. So promo code MACRO10 at pardonmycheesesteak.com. $10 off an order of $30 or more. All right, let's talk about Orcas Killer Whales. When Arian sent this topic over, I was like, okay, what are we going to talk about with Orcas Killer Whales? Then I started learning more about them. Orcas are fascinating.
Best. My favorite creature on Earth, probably.
What about humans?
No, fuck no.
He includes no, they're way down.
They're the worst, bro.
What are your top 5 creatures?
Top 5 creatures.
What are top
I'll go-
3? Top 3.
Okay, top three. I'll go with orcas, octopuses, and I'll go with damn. A third is. I'll go humans third.
Okay.
I'll go humans third.
I'm glad you included us.
Can I do my 3?
Yeah, top 3.
Dog, cat, duck.
That's not a bad list.
Goose 4.
Mad Dog McKenzie, you guys got top 3?
I don't know.
Dog.
Boys.
No. No. Dogs, humans,
Yeah, I would say that's my 1 and 2. as
and
well.
then 3. Like, let's throw like whales in there. Why not?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to say penguin because they're cute.
Penguins are adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good call. I think mine, dog, number 1. Sea lion, number 2.
Ooh,
That's a good
interesting.
one.
They're very cute. I love a good sea lion. And then number 3, favorite animal on earth, tiger.
Interesting.
Yeah, I
Mad
like
dog.
that list.
I don't know.
Since
You
you-
didn't include the humans either.
No,
What, Big T?
Since you had dogs number 1, would you rather for the next 40 years have a husband who's like fine? Like you don't really like love him that much, but he's not bad. He's just like there.
Okay.
Or the 3 best dogs ever back to back to back for 40 years, but you don't ever get married.
Wait, those are both bad options, I think.
No, well, because you get good dogs.
Like
Yeah,
the
that's
best
true.
dogs.
I think I'd rather have good dogs than a mediocre husband. I'd rather have good dogs and good husband.
well, it wasn't good dog. It was like the best.
best
dogs.
dog.
The best dog,
Then
but
I would
no
say-
husband.
Yeah.
Well, I'll get a boyfriend.
No,
Oh,
no,
T,
no,
true.
no
No men.
partner.
Oh,
Oh, dogs. I don't know.
yeah.
I would rather have really great dogs than live such a sad, mediocre life.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd rather wait because then you said 40 years. I'll be 65. Yeah.
Damn.
Then you get married.
Then I get married. 65. I'm a spring chicken.
Yeah.
40 years
You
with
better be. You're still going to be working. Social Security ain't going to be there.
40,
Exactly.
40
Come on.
years
I'll
with,
be doing this podcast.
with a partner that's just kind of there.
That's a
Sounds
long
pretty
time.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like.
Well, I was trying to make it to where it's like a decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you have a great
Yeah.
husband,
Yeah.
then it's
Right.
not a.
Yeah, no, I would say if you're giving me mediocre husband,
Let's say a 6.1 out of 10.
Ooh.
Looks
that's
or.
yeah.
No,
or
just,
you're like,
overall.
Oh,
that's still pretty mediocre.
yeah.
I would still say the dog.
That's good-ish.
6.1's goodish. Yeah.
You guys aren't doing much to convince me.
There are a lot of
Well, I
rotten
can't give
eggs
you.
out
I
there.
can't give you a 9.2. Then the dogs are
Exactly.
gonna die.
I
Ship
think I
them to
would-
Springfield.
I'm gonna place my standards, and Mackenzie, I hope you agree. I'm gonna place my standards. I want like at least an 8.3 husband.
There you go.
Yeah.
Value yourself.
Thank
yeah,
you.
Exactly.
And if I can't get that, then I'll have 3 10.0 dogs.
Yep. I agree.
Your life would be so fun if you had 3 10.0 dogs.
The worst
my God,
part about having
so
3
fun.
10.0 dogs is they have to die.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Like
tough.
every
That is
12
hard.
to 13 years, I have the worst heartbreak because I'm like, how can a dog be better than the dog I just had? And then it somehow gets better.
Yeah.
That's the worst part. If I'm having a 6.1 husband,
Nothing.
yeah, he's mowing the lawn maybe once a month for me.
That's
Maybe putting the dishes away once in a while.
that's your marker of a 6.1.
How often do you
husband?
want him mowing the lawn?
I don't know how often you mow a lawn. My dad didn't mow lawns growing up.
Yeah, mine either.
Depends on what kind of grass, what kind of climate you're in.
Okay, then let's get rid of the lawnmower. If my husband is only putting away dishes for me once every, month or so, he doesn't clean up after himself, but he's like a fun guy at parties.
No.
3 dogs.
3 dogs.
So you want a guy who's you want a maid.
No, I don't want a maid.
Yeah. What about a guy who's?
I mean, I do want a guy that like can be an adult and clean up after himself because I can clean up after myself.
That's like food people are like when they have a child and the mom goes out and they're like, who's taking care of the baby?
Right.
It's like
The
his
other
father.
person.
It's
Yeah.
not a babysitter.
The other 50% of their
He has
genetics.
a dad. Like he's allowed to do the dishes.
Yeah.
What about a guy who's no fun at parties, puts away the dishes every day, mows the lawn once a week, fixes everything around the house?
But like kind of like super boring.
Very
and
boring,
You
yeah.
don't
Yeah, I
like
don't-
hanging out with him.
No.
No, because that's a maid.
Yeah, that's just a
Like-
butler.
Again, these are not 8.3 husbands you're describing to me. I want a husband who's fun at parties, who is a functioning adult and can put away his things.
Yes.
How many parties are you going to?
I'm 25. I don't know. I go to out.
What about if a guy's fast? Does that impact anything?
No.
I think chicks stop being impressed with whether or not you're fast in like 5th grade.
I would like him
Yes.
to run at least at the slowest 5'3".
40.
Oh, 40. I was
You're
thinking.
timing him on a
I was
watch?
thinking a mile time.
Yeah, I was thinking mile time
Yeah.
too.
Oh God, I can't run.
Who
I'm not
cares?
running a mile. I don't care.
10-minute mile. That's
yeah,
fine.
Yeah.
You
I
going
don't
40s?
need the fast thing though. The fast
She's
thing
in
though,
the
I don't.
backyard.
5'3" for a normal dude is not slow.
That's not
No,
slow.
that's moving. That's moving.
Yeah.
I have standards.
I would say, what percentage of people do you think can run a sub 5 second 40?
Like, give me an age bracket here.
Okay, 5'5". Should I bump it up to 5'5"?
16 to 35.
16 to 35.
20%.
Yeah.
I think lower than that.
I think it might be
Oh.
lower.
I was being generous, but I'm
maybe 10.
5'3".
5'3", you could maybe start getting up 15, 20%.
Yeah.
Okay.
10% at 5 seconds flat or less.
Wait,
I
sub,
would, I
sub
would
means
say,
underneath, correct?
yeah, I would say less than 10%.
Oh, yeah, I'll say
for
5%.
5 seconds.
5%, if that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Maybe I'll
Oh.
bump it up to 5'5"
God,
or
1%. 1%.
Okay, I'll bump it up to 5'7",
dudes
5'8".
out here clocking in for work every day. Sub 5. Under
But maybe
5?
he's
Hell
maybe
no.
he's an NFL player.
I think 5'5" is like
Who knows?
functional adult speed.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, so
I
5'5".
thought, like in shape, probably. If you're beneath 5'5", you can do normal functioning adult stuff.
Yeah. Okay, then I like that.
Okay.
But speed, that got way out of hand. Speed, yeah, you were just saying like girls don't get as affected by speed as, no.
Girls loved fast guys in elementary school.
Fast guys at Ridgemont High.
Do you remember the name of the fastest kid at your school?
I do.
Who was it?
PFT commenter.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't me. I had some burst through like 5th grade. I had a little bit of burst. But no, there were a couple speed demons. James.
I was like,
He was my rival.
And then my homeboy named TJ Sweet. TJ Sweet was faster than me.
TJ Sweet?
That's a good name.
Cold ass name. That's my dog to this day.
Did he play sports?
Yeah, no, he was fast as shit. This dude was one of the ones like I grew up with so many cats and played against so many cats who could have went D1 easy, maybe even pro, but just life happens. This dude could legit at what were we? 15 years old, 14 years old, touch the top of the square on a hoop. Like so the square
Yeah.
he could touch the top of that easy at 15 years old.
Damn, TJ Sweet. That would have been
Bunnies.
I would have lost so much money betting on him. I would
They
just bet on
sound-
him
I was
every
telling
week.
about you got a cold ass name, dog.
He does.
It's a great name. You know what else is a cool name? Orcas.
Truth.
It's so true.
It really is.
No, they're awesome. So I was reading up about how they hunt. They're one of the only species that actually does play with their food sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So what they'll do is they'll chase down a fish, and if it's especially like a delicate fish, like sometimes they do this with salmon, they will hunt the fish, bite the fish, but not bite it hard enough to kill it. Just bite it to like show, hey, I caught this, and then re-release it and then catch it again and turn it into a big game. And they're doing that because they're showing their young how to go hunt. And if they turn it into a game, then their young will learn how to hunt and it'll enjoy like the practice of doing it.
So fire.
which is crazy. And they pass down their hunting traditions through their families. So
It's
each
cultural.
pod hunts in a different way. You've got some that have learned how to like take seals off a beach by swimming up on shore and making the waves hit them, drag them back into the ocean. You got some that have evolved to hunt the faster fish like tuna that are going upwards of like 60, 70 kilometers an hour. It's wild. They do have like, they've got their pods are like little different civilizations that they built. And
No,
they speak
they're
different languages.
they're probably the second most intelligent species on the earth, aside from us. And they have very complex language systems. Like they have different dialects with in between each pod. Like you said, cultural norms. There's different cultures in each pod. So it's like they're. Have you seen Avatar 2?
I have.
So you know how those whales in that movie were patterned after orcas because they have culture, they have different languages, they have dialect, just beautifully fascinating creatures.
This is a podcast.
Do you know where podcast came from? The name from?
The iPod.
Yeah, I didn't know that until like I don't know, like 2 weeks ago. I think that shit.
Really?
I didn't know
We
that.
need
had
to
no
see.
idea.
We need to see what other names of media you don't
Peacock.
know the origin of, because I'm guessing there might be more.
I mean, podcast because that's synonymous for people sitting down talking and putting out pieces of content, audio and video.
I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm not saying it's like crazy that you didn't know that. I'm just it is crazy you didn't know Peacock.
Yeah.
That
How's
one
that
it's
crazy though?
because NBC is very famously a Peacock logo.
But there's so many different apps, streaming apps.
And that's
so
fair,
I
but
just thought it was another one. I was like, what the fuck is Peacock?
I'm sure there've got to be others. I do need to tell y'all, I have to interrupt this
Yep.
conversation. Something has come up.
Okay.
I need y'all to go on Twitter and I need you to search Shannon Sharpe's name because an incident has occurred.
Oh.
And I haven't heard it yet. I'm seeing the video. I think we should listen to it because apparently the sound is the interesting part.
Okay, do you want to play it?
It's an Instagram live.
All right, tell me when you start it and I'll start mine.
All right, I'm starting it.
Like, give me a countdown, G.
3, 2, 1, go.
Oh.
Oh. Oh my god. No.
Don't think Unc knew he was live.
Don't think
I do not think he does.
How do you accidentally go live when you're fucking?
Well,
All right, so what happens at the end? Oh, it just cuts
Wait, so how does it end? The phone doesn't move.
I don't know.
Like the camera didn't move like he grabbed the phone.
Get up, indeed.
shout out to my dog for having that, an active sexual life. You know what I mean?
It sounds healthy.
Sounds healthy, man. It sounds like I heard a papa in there.
Yep.
You into that? Yeah, I like it.
Is he married?
Nah.
Oh.
Oh, not to my knowledge. I don't know. I don't really follow him like that, but
Wow, Shannon. I mean, what are they going to do? He can't be fired for that, right?
Nah.
People are saying on Twitter that he is, that he could be,
Is
Really?
Nah.
or they're saying this is gonna cost him the bag he's been looking for.
I don't.
Why?
Oh, bro. Nothing was explicit. It was just audio.
Also, wait, why? Just because it's really inappropriate?
Yeah. I mean, listen, we're all sexual creatures. He didn't mean to put that online. I don't think he should be fired for that.
Shit happens, man.
I think if anything, we should applaud a man. We should applaud a man for engaging in what sounds to be like pretty fun sexual activity.
What sounds to be
Yeah, I mean everything. They both sounded like they were having a good time.
it was consensual. She said she liked it. He was grunting. Hey, man. The beautiful Wednesday activity in the afternoon.
Yeah. Now I mean, I don't know if he skipped work to do this. That would be the thing if he's like, no, I can't make it in this morning. I'm feeling sick.
Arian, can you film me? This could be presumptuous of me. It seems from the very minimal research I've done that you might know about this and I don't. Are you familiar with an individual named R-Truth?
R-Truth, no.
Ron Killings?
Don Killings?
Ron. His Instagram handle is Ron Killings1.
Nah, I'm not,
And everybody's calling him R-Truth. He was in the chat of the Shannon Sharpe video a bunch.
And what was he saying?
Are they fucking, excuse my French? He giving her that hawk to a yo unk, that's not PG.
Nah, I don't know him.
That to me didn't sound like Haktua.
He's a professional wrestler and rapper.
What's his name?
R-Truth, aka Ronnie Killings, or Ronnie Killings, aka R-Truth. He's 52 years old. He is an African American gentleman.
Is he a wrestler? He's a wrestler.
Yes. It says wrestler and rapper.
No, I don't. I've never heard of him before.
Yeah, me neither.
Sure he's
I
great.
want to know what conversation Skip Bayless is having right now. He's probably just pacing around his apartment like, oh man.
I thought they don't do that show. They still do that show?
He left FS1, but now he's on ESPN. Oh, Stephen A. Smith. I can't wait for Stephen A. Smith to have the first moment back on the air with Shannon Sharpe.
I love Shannon. He's a good friend of mine. You can't be doing that on Instagram Live.
I
think that's the first time I've ever done a Stephen A.
That was pretty good. I think he's going to have to bring it up in like some way to him.
Yeah, I don't know. I would love to see when Shannon found out.
Yeah, he's probably like, that's got to be an all-time what the fuck did I just do moment.
Yeah.
How does that happen? Maybe you were about to record some of the activities and you accidentally, maybe you had a widget on your home screen that went straight to IG Live or something like that. That's probably
that's what I'm thinking too, because the phone had to be out at some point during this activity, and like your phone just won't start recording IG Live if it's sitting on the nightstand or whatever.
Yeah, like you have to press several buttons to get to IG Live.
Yeah, what was his last? So let me go to Shannon Sharpe's Instagram right now.
Does it archive lives?
You have to choose to save a live or not.
Okay, so let's see what
there are a lot of different things that had to have happened for that to have occurred.
Shannon Sharpe. I can't wait to see the notes.
I'm woke on this. I think this might be fake.
Why would he do this?
That seems like a weird
Is he trying to get
thing.
fired?
I don't know.
Maybe trying to
Trying
get
to
out of his
show off?
contract. Trying to get out of his contract.
Maybe.
I have someone else that needs to get out of contract, please.
Who's that?
What?
Someone,
What does that mean?
not me.
No, I know who she's
The
talking about.
Browns.
Oh, Deshaun.
Browns fans are currently in the college
Pits of
football fan phase of can we fire this guy for cause?
Yeah.
Which is not. It's a funny place to be in some respects. In other respects, very much not for what he did. But maybe they're able to get out of that contract.
Yeah, it's a possibility now.
You gotta see the
Congratulations.
Please, Lord.
Yeah, I said this on PMT yesterday. I'll say it again here. Either Deshaun Watson is the victim of one of the most heinous and coordinated and despicable, vile cases of coordinated character assassination of all time, or he belongs in prison for the rest of his life.
I'm going to go with the latter.
That's what it sounds like.
Even if true, that belongs to Michael Jackson.
Yeah, so maybe second most if the Michael Jackson thing was coordinated.
It was very much coordinated.
It's not fun, I would imagine, for Cleveland Browns fans to be having to.
No.
You guys don't defend him, obviously.
No, I have hated him since this all happened 2 years ago.
Yeah, I know you don't.
What
defend him.
perplexes me though is like, sure, detest everything that he's done. I I remember I was on a podcast a long time ago, and this dude was asking me when the allegations first started circulating, and I was like, I don't know. I don't obviously I'm not there, and you have to let it play out. I do find it very odd that you had over 20 plus masseuses in a 3-year NFL career, because usually what happens is when you find a masseuse that you like, you stick with them. And so in my career, I had 3 masseuses my entire career. And what perplexes me the most is he was nice when he was with Houston. Like, he could play, dog. It's why he got that contract. Like, because it was like, all right, he has these looming allegations. This is crazy. But man, this motherfucker nice. It's like he lost all skill set, which is really odd to me. Like, maybe he just stopped working out or something. I have no idea, but it's just very weird to me.
I think he stopped caring about football.
That could be the case.
I think, and if you watch him on the field, he's completely checked out.
Right.
He's not the same player that he was. He was awesome when he was on the Texans. You could easily make the argument top 3 quarterback in the league.
Yeah, it was wild, dog.
He was really, really good, and then just does not care. Maybe it's the money. Maybe it's the shame and embarrassment about having all his personal shit put out there, and he just is like, fuck everything. I'm just going to get paid and go home, and that's all I'm going to do. Whatever it is bizarre that he not only, is accused of all these things, but also he got really, really shitty at football all at once.
He does seem like very likely a scumbag, but he did play his high school. Has one of my favorite high school mascots ever.
What is it?
Played for the Gainesville Red Elephants.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
I love that a lot.
yeah.
That's because of your political party affiliation.
I honestly had never thought of that. I just thought it was sick.
Yeah,
The Red Elephants.
Red Elephant. That's yeah. You should get one of their hats.
Yeah, he and a few good players have played there. AJ Johnson.
So yeah, Deshaun. Oh, Shannon Sharpe. I don't know if he's going to get fired. I will say that if you get fired for fucking, that is the coolest way to get fired. Why'd you get fired? I had sex. Documented.
You know what it is. You know what time it is.
She called me Papi.
Papa.
Papa.
I noticed that because Papi, I could definitely choose it. Definitely Latina. You know what I mean?
So Papa could be either way.
It could be Latina, but it also could be black.
Yeah. That's how Stephen A. should open up the episode next time he gets on the air with Shannon. What's up, Papa?
Papa, what's going on with you, Papa? We gotta have a conversation.
I thought your name was Unc this whole time. Turns out you're Papa.
We got our family wires getting crossed.
God.
We should name it. We know we should name this episode "Orcas." Kinda.
Yeah. Shannon needs to go back live on Instagram right now. I
That
want
would
to see
be
him.
funnier.
I want to see him going through it like that. That would do so many numbers, and it would be very relatable. Like, you fucked up at your job, not necessarily something that had any bad intention, but you know that it's bad. I want to see what he's going through right now.
With shirt off, bottle in hand, with a little. I don't know if you smoke blacks or cigars, and open it up and say, "Hey man, say man, hey man, say man." It what it is, dog.
He would definitely have he's a black and mild guy.
Still fuck with your uncle.
He's got a towel over his shoulder.
Yeah, 100%. Shit happens, dog. I don't know how that happened, but shit does happen.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good for Shannon. I'm not mad at him. I hope he doesn't get fired. I want to see him back on the air. I want to see Greeny. I want to see Greeny like introduce. God, that's who I really want the camera on right now is Mike Greenberg. He was doing what?
Hey man, Shay man, that's funny, dog.
Shannon was stooping a lady. You could hear the sound of his thighs on her tuchus.
I do think that was cunnilingus, though.
He was grunting.
Yeah, that's a gruntable action.
I think it was more than likely back shots.
You would have heard the back shots.
I heard a couple back shots,
but there was no movement in the camera.
I think the camera was
like on a table.
Yeah, he had set it down.
Stable. Okay, stable. Simple Place. Okay, maybe I have to reanalyze the audio, fam. I don't know.
I think, okay, here's what I think happened. I think they were taping something for themselves, and then the impact of the back shots knocked the camera over, and then he reached over to turn off the recording thing because the camera was on his back, and blindly hitting his phone, he went live on Instagram.
The forensics.
I think he reached over. Yeah, I'm like Dexter, but with cum. He reached over to the side, and he was like trying to hit the buttons to make it stop taping because the camera fell over. He was too into what he was doing, and through the mashing of the buttons, he ended up going live on Instagram. That's, to me, I've recreated the crime scene. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Love that, man. Glad we cracked that safe. Figure that out, Johnson.
All right, back to Orcas. They're the largest member of the dolphin family. So they're not actually whales. They're dolphins.
Yeah.
They can be about as big as a small school bus. I don't know what kind of school bus you're referring to there, Mike, when he wrote up these documents. But hypothetically, a small school bus is the size of an orca. They're in the Delphinidae family. It's oceanic dolphins, and they're hunters that have attacked great white sharks. And there's some research even suggesting that great white sharks are afraid of orcas. Got them shook. There was a
1,000%.
study at the Monterey Bay Aquarium in California followed a group of great white sharks for months. The sharks always fed in the same place. When 2 pods of orcas arrived, the sharks fled and didn't come back for months. They're like, there goes the neighborhood. Orcas will ram sea lions and seals with their tails until they're concussed, like basically knocked out and unable to defend themselves, and then they go after them.
I've been seeing some great white shark content recently, and I think they're kind of bitches.
They're hyped up, bro.
You can just put your hand on their nose and throw them away, and they swim away.
Really?
I think I could take a great white.
Just by putting your hand on their nose?
They say you stand your ground and wait for them to come up to you. You put your hand on your nose and you direct them away, and they leave.
They're like bullies.
Yeah.
They act all big and bad. Second somebody stands up to them, they tuck tail.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, 2 or 3 months is a long time to go away if you're a great white shark. You are definitely afraid of whatever's there.
I'm watching some orcas chase a blue whale right now. It's sick.
I went on a whale watching thing when I was in Mexico a couple years ago. It was a lot of fun. Saw the humpback whales jumping out of the water, all that stuff. And I was talking to the tour guide, and he said that there has only been one day. I think he's been doing it for years. I want to say like, I don't know, 5-10 years, something like that. And there was only one day he went out there during whale season where there were no whales, and they dropped the microphone into the ocean, and they picked up sounds of orcas. And so all the whales knew, like, don't fuck around. There's orcas around. It's like Omar coming, orca coming.
Do you like whale watching?
It was okay. We our boat was an ethical boat, which I deeply regret taking an ethical whale watching boat.
Do you not get as close?
You don't get nearly as close because they were like, yeah, you can cause anxiety to some of the whales if you get too close. So we try to stay away and let them do their thing, but we can watch them from afar. So I think the closest our boat came was like, I don't know, 150 yards.
Oh, I don't need to be on an unethical one then. How close do the unethicals get?
Now, most of the whales, I would say, were more like 500 yards, 1,000 yards away. But there were a couple that were a lot closer than that unintentionally. But the real close ones, you get like 50 yards.
Oh, absolutely not.
So, yeah, that was a mistake on my part.
How big are they?
What?
The whales you were seeing?
I think they were like average size humpbacks.
Like big enough to flip your boat?
Yeah.
And there are ones that get 50 yards away?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely not.
But they don't try.
Would you do that, Arian?
Whale watching?
Yeah.
No.
It's fun.
I bet, man.
I would never, ever get in the water. I would consider doing the one that stays a safe distance.
Like at the shore, like at the shorelines. I've done like little like shore rides. Shit, I went with Mac and Maddie in San Diego. You know what I'm saying? I'll do them shits all day. You know what I'm saying? Because there's not a lot of dangerous stuff in there. But there is still, but not enough for me to call. But like if I'm out in the deep, when I can see nothing but water around me, I'm straight. I'm cool
Yeah.
with all of that shit. Nah, I'm good though.
Agreed.
I would recommend a whale watching trip. Once you get up close to them and you see how big they are, and you see them jumping and swimming with their little baby whales, you're like, this is cool. It's like a moving thing.
Yeah, they know, and they have a good interaction with humans too. Like it's culturally understood. Like we don't really like humans, the taste of them, so they
Yeah.
don't hunt us. Like there's no encounters. I'm sorry, there's no documented kills of orcas with humans,
That's interesting.
except for when we had one in captivity, and even in the ones in captivity, the one that they have on like video, he didn't just murder the lady, or I mean, I think it was a dude. I remember what it was, but like he would like he bit the leg of the trainer and would like hover above the water, and it would go down for like a minute, and it would come back up, and it would go back down, and it would come back up, and he was like basically, I think it was Tillicum, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Tillicum. Yeah, they like, I mean, shit, you in captivity for 20 years, you can go crazy. And I think he just went crazy. 1 or 2 was trying to fight for his survival.
I think
But
that whale killed multiple people, right?
Yeah, it was like 3. But again, but in the open, and when orcas are free, there's an attack, but even the attack it was like a bite, and then he let it go. I think it was a surfer's leg go. But there's no documented killings of any human by an orca in the history of humankind.
I highly recommend to everybody, if you like whales, if you like going to SeaWorld, go to SeaWorld one more time and then watch Blackfish.
Mm-hmm.
And then you won't want to go anymore. But if you watch Blackfish right now without going to SeaWorld one last time, you're just going to miss out on your last trip to SeaWorld.
Yep.
Real quick. Quote, beware, my Shannon Sharpe 84 Instagram account was hacked this morning. My team and I are working vigorously to figure this out. -unk.
It was
I'll
hacked.
take that route, dog.
That was posted on his Instagram story before being deleted.
It was hacked. I love the hack defense. Him and
I'll take that route,
Jay
dog.
Williams, right?
Was Jay Williams hacked?
Jay Williams, when he
Well,
said,
actually, I
he
think
said congratulations to Ime Udoka for being the first
Oh, that's right.
African-American head coach
Yeah.
of the Boston Celtics.
Yes. I think he was hacked for real, though.
You think Shannon was?
No, Jay Williams.
You don't think he just posted that?
No. In a separate incident.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the incident I'm referring to?
No.
Oh, he was hacked.
Okay. I'm talking about the one where he mistakenly
Yes,
said Ime Udoka, despite the fact that
They'd had like 5.
Doc,
black head
and that
coaches.
Doc Rivers had just won a national championship, like, I don't know, 6 years ago as the head coach.
Yeah.
And Bill Russell famously was player coach.
Yeah, but there was a separate incident where Jay Williams was hacked.
He's still trying to find the guy that did it. Now, if Shannon Sharpe was hacked, this would be a wild way to hack a person. Like, I'm going to hack you and then log in on IG Live while I fuck.
In fairness, he wasn't hacked, but this is one of the 1% of scenarios where, like, if you were going to hack someone and try to cause, like, detriment to them, this is something you could plausibly do.
I guess so. Yeah, because nobody would believe that you were actually hacked.
Right. And I don't think, like, in this, does anybody actually care?
It's funny.
It's funny, but, like, nobody is like, oh, Shannon Sharpe
That's what I'm saying. Like, it
needs to be canceled.
Yeah, if they do fire him, then they're just afraid of backlash that won't happen.
I'd be shocked if he was fired.
It sounded like there was a lot of backlash going on in that video.
Good one.
Yeah.
Maybe 10, 15 years ago, he'll be fired.
Yeah.
Now, nah, bro, nobody cares anymore.
I'm going to set up alerts for Skip Bayless real quick. Need to see this. Need to see all the ramifications. Back to orcas. Orcas and human beings are the 2 most widespread animals on Earth. They're the farthest ranging. They're in every ocean in the world. They're even in some freshwater rivers. From the Arabian Sea, Gulf of Mexico, Japan, Atlantic Ocean, Arctic, Antarctica. Orcas are found in every ocean. They can be found in freshwater rivers. One was spotted swimming more than 100 miles up the Columbia River in Oregon as it hunted fish. That's a wild move. You're 100 miles away from the ocean. You see an orca just roll up next to you. So we don't know how many orcas exist. Estimated to be about 50,000 orcas, which I did not think that there were that many.
I thought there was going to be more.
You thought so? Because I was under the impression that orcas were like extremely endangered.
I don't think they're endangered. Are they endangered? I don't think they are.
I guess they've got a really good marketing team. Free Willy. Big T, did you ever watch Free Willy?
Never seen it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Arian, me and you were of that age where Free Willy was a big deal when it came out. It also had a great Michael Jackson song.
Oh yeah, true.
Oh me like the river of Jordan. The song's a banger.
Orcas and all killer whales are endangered.
They are.
They are.
They are protected under the MMPA, and the southern resident population is listed as an endangered species.
Yes,
I usually don't give a fuck about animals. Don't care. Animals, species live, species die. That's the way of the world. I'm okay if we protect these
Save them.
beautiful creatures.
Also, crazy fun fact, their bite force is around 19,000 pounds per square inch.
That sounds like a lot. Can we compare that to
Yeah.
like a hippo?
Bite force of a hippo. 8,000.
So it dominates a hippo.
Damn. It is the apex predator on this planet Earth. I don't think there's anything badder than an orca.
The average bite force of an adult human is around 160 psi. So that's what, like 6 times 19 would be like 115 times more.
Yeah, these guys are killing machines. So there are two populations that are protected in federal law. That southern resident population, it goes from California to Southeast Asia, and there's an AT1 transient subgroup that's in the North Pacific. And according to the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, the AT1 transient population has just 7 whales, while the southern resident population about 76. So those are very, very endangered. Southern resident population lost an estimated 69 orcas to live capture for use in marine mammal parks between the 1960s and 1974. This reduced the number in the wild from 140 to 71. So something about this one pod where they're like the show orcas, where they captured a bunch of them. And so they're all from that same type of family. If you go to any sort of amusement park or marine type zoo, they're all from that same group, which is wild. So we don't really know. You've probably never seen any of the other orcas, just this one transient one. The southern residents eat Chinook salmon. Chinooks have higher fat concentrations and nutritional value than the other Pacific salmon, so it gives the orcas more energy. To be healthy, an adult male orca needs to eat 325 pounds of fish per day.
That's insane.
That's so many fish. Them and Shannon Sharpe.
Good one.
In order for the whales to survive, the Chinook salmon population has to increase. So we need more salmon to have more orcas in the water. That's like your full-time job is just eating fish if you want to eat 325 pounds of it a day.
I mean, I feel like they scoop up, 20 or 25 at a time.
But also, they don't have anything else to do. They
just hang out.
They don't have jobs.
That's true.
Their job is to find fish.
Orcas are woke. Did you know that?
Talk to me.
They live in a matriarchy. Every pod is led by an old female, and it includes her offspring and her daughter's offspring in the leadership group. Orcas are polygamous. They mate with multiple partners. Male orcas typically return to their own families after mating with a female from another pod, leaving the mother to raise the young on her own. The average lifespan of females is about twice that of males. Males tend to live. The dudes live 30 years. Females live about 50 years, and some have lived up to 80 years. That's a long ass time to be swimming around in the ocean.
I mean, I'm sure they feel that about us walking around.
Yeah, but we got buildings and stuff. We got all sorts of cool shit. We got video games, sports. 80 years is a long time to just be swimming.
Yeah, I mean, they don't know no different though. I guess that's what is that? What is that one joke about the two? What is that one fish? I think like a fish leaves, and he comes back and he comes into the water. I'm butchering it, but you'll get the sentiment. And he says, he's like, isn't it weird that we swim around in water all day? He's like, what's water?
Yeah. They don't know. They don't know.
Love that.
So orcas also sleep with one eye open. Half their brain deactivates when they go to sleep, and so they just alternate. They're never fully asleep.
So literally woke.
Literally woke all the time. Yes.
What percentage of your brain is normal to deactivate when you're asleep?
I think.
I feel like
both sides go to sleep.
I feel like ours is mostly deactivated.
Yeah. Yeah, but imagine if you were like, so the human brain it has to have rest every day. But with orcas, they never actually fully rest. It's just like half the time when they're resting, half their brain's off, then they just switch to the other side. So maybe if they have like the hemispheres like we have, sometimes they can't do math, and then sometimes they can't figure out like creative problems.
Right.
But they do sleep with one eye open.
I butchered this. It goes, two young fish are asked by an older fish, how's the water? And the young fish turns to the other and says, what the hell is water? That's what it was.
They just talk about like when they jump out and they're in the air. They just know what air is.
Well, it's the notion is your surroundings become your norm. So much so you don't notice them.
They have the second biggest brain of any animal. They have the most wrinkles and folds on their brain, which we interpret to mean that they might be strong. They might be smart. The brain size isn't an indicator of intelligence, but the wrinkling and folding in the cortex is. So the gyrification increases the amount of total cortical nerve tissue that processes information. So brains with more wrinkles and folds are more skillful of handling more data, processing it faster. Since cortical folds allow cells to be closer to each other, they require less time and energy to transmit neural impulses. So like in Avatar 2, they go into that whale's brain, they suck out that like little juice or whatever, because those whales are so smart. It sounds like orcas might have a lot of shit going. They're doing a lot of thinking.
Well, in that movie, not to be that guy, but they were sucking out a part of that brain that was known to cure like Alzheimer's and stuff like that in humans. So
maybe do orcas have any of that shit in them?
I don't think so, or else we'd have been harvesting them.
That's true.
I'm just watching. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm saying unfortunately. Yeah.
Oh, I see. I'm just watching different videos of orcas right now, and there's one. This dude takes a dolphin that's like on his tail, and he flips him with his tail. Gotta be 60 feet in the air. It's fucking awesome.
Just launches him.
Oh, it's crazy.
They are bullies, dog. They're bullies. They smarter than everything in the ocean. They know it. They bigger than damn near everything in the ocean, and they know it. They're faster. It's just they are the apex predator. I don't know why sharks got the tag of like being so scary and stuff. Like Big T said, I guess they are very scary monsters and creatures, and we should stay away from them. But orcas is what shakes up the sea, not sharks.
They're also one of the cleanest looking animals. Have we talked about this on the show? That there needs to be a professional sports team that's called the Orcas?
Yeah, I think we said it should be in Seattle.
Their uniforms would be so sick.
Got to be Orlando though.
Orlando Orcas, yeah, for SeaWorld.
That'd be sick.
Okay.
Well, I was just thinking alliterative. But.
So the Canucks have a killer whale like logo and mascot, but there needs to be a team that has like the black and white jerseys, and they look like orcas. That would be sick.
Like, does anybody think the Orlando Magic is cool?
No.
Yeah, I do. I like Orlando Magic.
Really?
Why?
Yeah.
I like the song.
I think it's just I grew up watching Penny and Shaq.
Yeah.
Nick Anderson.
So you don't really like the name though. You like the pinstripe uniforms.
Pinstripe blue.
Imagine a Shaq Orlando Orcas uniform. I'd go crazy.
Yeah.
Well, see, okay, I always said this, and maybe you can vouch for Big T. Orlando Magic back in those days had the best looking floor in the NBA. Like the way that they patterned their wood,
Yeah.
it was just gorgeous to look. And so when the Bulls came in town and they had the red, I was talking about aesthetically pleasing. So I was telling this on the last pod, PFT. I watched the Tennessee NC State game, and I kind of had to turn it off because it just aesthetically it was very dull to me. It just didn't please me. But the Nebraska Colorado game was just so gorgeous to watch. You know what I'm saying? The feel of the colors clashing was a very good thing that I felt.
Yeah.
Orlando Magic in the 90s and the Bulls, those colors together on that floor, it felt so good. I don't know.
It did.
Explain it, man.
And you had Horace Grant wearing the Magic colored goggles going up against the Bulls, his former team.
Yeah,
the
man.
floor had the nice parquet, the squares on it.
Yep. And then Dennis Rodman's hair with a little pop, little accent color.
That's good looking TV right there.
It is great TV.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Boston Celtics also have a really dope floor.
Yep. I like that one. What are the best fields to look at in the NFL?
I love Denver's.
Yeah, Mile High School.
I love Denver's.
I'm not talking about stadium. I'm talking about just the field.
Yeah, the field. They do a very good job with it. A field that I like playing on but don't like watching is the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals field is gorgeous. It was my favorite. Matter of fact, yeah, I think that was my favorite field to play on. But I don't like how it looks on TV. I don't know why.
Vikings field, I like. The purple looks good.
That's nice. This might be controversial. I like looking at the Steelers field. I know sometimes it gets chewed up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean by November it looks horrible.
But I like it. It's AFC North.
Yeah.
That's a tough field. That field embodies the culture
Blue
of the
collar.
organization. Yeah. FedEx Field.
Ugh.
It embodies the culture of the organization, you could say.
Are they getting a new stadium?
Yeah, we are. So actually, I misspoke. Not FedEx Field. It's Northwest Federal Credit Union.
Oh, they changed it.
Yeah, it's Northwest now.
But they're building that thing with the Wizards. Is that happening?
No, that was the Capitals, and that was a last-minute play to get D.C. to give them a little bit more money, and they're going to stay in D.C. and not go to Virginia.
Got it. But that thing looked sick.
It did look sick, but a lot of people were mad because we're taking it out of downtown D.C., and that's really like one of the coolest things that downtown D.C. had going for it. So that entire area around where the Verizon Center is was just going to go to absolute shit if they moved out. But they're staying around. The Commanders are trying to get a stadium deal done either at RFK Stadium or maybe somewhere in Virginia, somewhere in Maryland. They're going to have a new stadium in like 5-6 years, thankfully. But yeah, Seattle Orcas would be hard. That would
I
be
got
awesome
one more field that I love to look at. The Oregon Ducks.
Oh, college fields, I could give you a bunch.
I know I said Ducks. I don't want to trick you, Big T, but the Oregon Ducks football team.
No, they love the Ducks there.
Do they have the alternating colors between each like 5-yard section?
Yeah, it's like light green and dark green.
I think they do, yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
What do y'all think of Boise State?
I like Boise State. I don't like the copycats.
Like, have you seen Central Arkansas?
No,
Look up Central Arkansas. That one is egregious. Like Eastern Washington, the red is insane,
Don't
but
like
like it kind of is fun. Central Arkansas is crazy.
Is that purple and gray?
Yes.
Let's see here.
Um,
Oh yeah. Ugh. I don't like this.
Name the most famous Central Arkansas alumnus.
Shannon Sharpe.
Did he play at Central Arkansas?
Nah, I'm just playing.
Oh, it's a this athlete is on par with Shannon Sharpe, like career wise.
Central
Ron Jeremy.
Arkansas.
No, it's an athlete. This city.
Tight end.
No.
This city.
Yeah, it has something to do with the city we're in right
Scottie
now.
Pippen.
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh, he's by far the best athlete that's ever been there. Yeah, I don't like these other ones, honestly. I don't mind Boise State, but the other ones are that's tough to watch, man.
Eastern Michigan that one's tough to look at.
They do the gray too, right? It's like gray and green.
No,
or
it's
those just all gray.
All gray. It looks like you're watching on a black and white TV kind of.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't
that's
like
disgusting.
Now, Big T, do you like Boise?
I do.
It snaps the necks
I
of
know that-
thousands of ducks and geese.
Now, I think that might be fake news. I
Okay.
think you may have gotten fake news.
Did I? Because I think it's a lake.
I've heard that, but I don't.
Who says that it's not happening? The administration at Boise State? You think
Let's
they'd
see
admit
if
it?
that's true.
Okay.
I have heard that before.
I like Boise State because it was the first one to do it. So it's like they went out on a limb. They got unique. I like that. The other schools, no, just run the damn ball. Give me Greenfield.
All I see, there is a picture of some geese being on the field. They're very much alive.
Okay.
I can't. I'll look into
Google it.
I'll look into it.
Google that one up. So back to orcas real quick. When I'm talking about their brains and all the wrinkles, they've got so many wrinkles. Human brains. They do I don't know how to pronounce this, gyrencephaly index to measure how foldy their brains are. Humans are a 2.2. Bottlenose dolphins 5.6, more foldy than human brains. Orcas are 5.7. So orca brains are the wrinkliest in the world, and some people think that means that they transmit information about 2.3 times faster than human beings do, which is wild. As we said, they've got their own languages for each clan. So clans speak different languages. So they've got accents and dialects. Scientists proved that each clan has its own dialect, and the learned behaviors are passed from one pod generation to the other. That only exists in one other species, and that's humans. They have trends. In 1987, there was a female orca in the Pacific Ocean near Puget Sound. She was carrying a dead salmon on her head. Within 2 months, killer whales from her pod and 2 others were also wearing fish hats. So they've got like styles and trends that they follow.
Love that shit.
Their black and white markings are camouflage. So the black tops, white underbellies are a counter-shaded pattern, so it allows them to blend in with anything that's looking above the water and from below the surface towards the top. If prey is looking at the orcas from below, they blend in with the bright ocean surface. And the big white eye patches on their side can serve as a way for the killer whales to read social cues and coordinate hunting and swimming information. Similar to their overall body markings, the white patches slightly above their eyes serve a camouflaging purpose to confuse prey. The stealthy method allows orcas to approach prey without them even realizing it. I also think that if there's like something that wants to fuck up a whale and you see a sleeping whale and you see that thing that looks like an eye on the side, then you think that it's awake and you probably go away from it. That's just me. I'm just doing some science right now. They got big ass teeth, 40 to 56 interlocking teeth, and they're used for ripping and tearing, but they don't chew. They just swallow or they eat their food in chunks, or sometimes they just don't bite down that hard and they just catch and release. They do echolocation, which is a crazy ability to have.
Yeah, that's wild.
Kind of like an F-16 radar is basically what they have inside their own brains.
You're playing hoe.
I am playing hoe. So sound travels 4 times faster in the water than it does on land. And orcas take advantage of that by sending out pulses, clicks, and whistles to scan the area around them like a radar. They create high-frequency sound waves that are passed through the melon, which is a fatty cavity at the front part of the head. And the melon focuses the sounds and projects them into the water. The sound bounces off the objects and returns in the form of an echo.
Now, tell me how that works, because everything else is slower in the water.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess because the molecules in water are closer together than the molecules in air are.
I don't know.
Because gravity pulls water towards Earth, right? So it condenses it. So all the molecules are like if you go to the sky into air, the air spaces out because it goes up further away from the gravity.
Okay.
This is a guess.
I see where you're going with it.
Or like electricity. You can't get electrocuted through the air if I was like standing on the opposite side of the room with you unless I had like a really, really powerful shock. I guess lightning also does that. But in water, if I were to like drop a toaster into a hot tub with you that was plugged in, you would die. You would get electrocuted. But if I put a toaster on this table right now, you would survive.
Sure.
I think that has something to do with it.
Okay.
So they bounce sound off things, and then they hear it back. Humans, can we do that to a certain extent? This might be an ignorant question, but if you are a visually impaired person, do you think there's anybody that's good enough at just yelling and figuring out how the sound of their voice is bouncing off stuff, and they can figure out if there's something else in the room with them?
I think we can, but not nearly to the extent that they can. So like when they do it, they can get like a visual representation of what's out there and what they can like imagine what's out there, right? So like certain objects and the distance of them gives them a certain vibration back.
Yeah.
But for us, I mean, we can to an extent. So like I knew a couple cats that was blind, and they tap those sticks. That's why they tap those sticks, so they get like an idea of where things are.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that they can get a visual representation, but I think that they can sense like where things are and what direction they're going, where things are lining up. I think they can.
So killer whales can detect fish up to 500 feet away and use it to identify the size of the fish and go for larger prey.
That is crazy, dog.
That's wild, isn't it? So they do have, it is a radar that's like built into their own brain.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. That's an ability I would like to have.
For what purpose?
Well, I guess our eyes kind of do that, right? With light?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right.
All the same shit, electromagnetic spectrum.
Yeah. So echolocation also explains how killer whales along the coast of South Africa, the ones that seem to love the taste of fatty, high-calorie shark liver, have been observed tearing away the liver on the very first bite. They know where the liver is located, and echolocation might help explain why. So it also is kind of like an X-ray, where it can tell via these pulses which part of the body is fatter than the others, and then just goes in for the liver. Those videos are wild, too, when they kill a great white shark, and then one swims right up to it and just bites its liver out and swims away. They
really love liver.
They do. And the great white shark is like thrashing around in the water, still alive, just without a liver, and it's about to die. But it's like, this motherfucker just wanted my liver, and that's it. Probably a lot of nutrients, a lot of fat in the liver. Do you know, why do old people love eating liver so much?
Do they?
No idea.
Yeah, old dudes especially. Old dudes love liver.
I don't know that's ever came up in a conversation.
I don't think I've ever seen somebody under the age of 40, even 50 eat liver. Like get a liver and onion sandwich or...
Didn't y'all meet the Liver King?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, true. Good point. Besides him.
I think it is a lot of old people, but in the South, chicken livers are a thing.
That's true. Yeah.
I think a lot of old people like them more than younger people, but those are relatively ubiquitous.
In the South, they're just like fried up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bread it up and fry it. There was one case, Arian, of orcas attacking humans in the wild.
Yeah.
God, imagine
Not
being
killing.
that guy.
Not killing, though.
So, Blackfish, that whale, Tillicum, killed 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
The lone attack in the wild occurred September 9th, 1972. 18-year-old Hans Kretschmer was bitten by an orca surfing at Point Sur in California. Kretschmer noticed some sea lions that were playing in the waves before the attack, leading him to believe the sudden nudge he received was a curious sea lion. When he turned to look at the instigator, he realized he was mistaken. There was an 18-foot orca that bit his leg. In an attempt to defend himself, he punched the animal repeatedly, causing it to suddenly let him go. Once free, the shock-ridden surfer desperately swam 40 meters ashore. He saw medical attention, and the doctor said it looked like someone chopped your leg off with a sharp axe. The injury he sustained was just as graphic, with 3 teeth penetrating bone, narrowly missing a major artery. It required 100 stitches.
Penetrating the bone is crazy.
That is wild, yeah. Just biting the bone like a toothpick.
And it was probably just a light bite for him.
Yeah, because the orca definitely, if he wanted to kill him, he definitely would have killed him.
Oh, 1,000%.
Think of how hard you could bite somebody Like you could a human biting you could do serious damage,
Yeah, that's
and
more
theirs
Albert.
is 115 times more powerful.
It's
Hey,
crazy.
do you ever bite the people that you love?
Bite?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I've never been a biter. Biters,
Not adults, but like I think well, like not like other adults, but like your significant other. Like when you just like cuddle and you just bite their neck, like, you'd be so
like nibble.
infatuated. Yeah, you like nibble, but
Yeah,
you
nibble.
can bite
Yeah,
'em. Not
yeah.
like you don't take a piece of their flesh, obviously, but like you bite them, bite them.
Yeah, nibbling.
I'm a nibbler. I bite when I'm in love.
How hard?
I mean, obviously, I have no domestic cases against me, so I don't
Yeah.
bite that hard.
Yeah. Do you have bite inhibition? Dogs have bite inhibition, where if they can sense that it's like your hand in their mouth, they'll let up on the bite. They won't push down hard.
I mean, naturally, when I open my mouth and put another human's neck in my
Yeah.
in my clench,
You're not
I'm
a
not gonna-
vampire.
I'm not gonna bite hard. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah. One time I bit Blake.
Out of love.
I didn't bite hard on him, but he was like a puppy and he like nibbled on my finger, and then I just like bit him real quick, like on the back of his neck. Just put my teeth on him to show him, like that's what you did.
Yeah,
Is
I
that
hope he
fucked
learned
up?
his lesson. I hope he learned
He
his
did.
lesson.
He learned his lesson.
Oh, update. Not getting a dog.
Oh, why not?
I really was considering it. I was going for it.
Boo, boo.
I went through the whole process. I started looking at where they sell them in Houston, yada yada, and then I really started thinking, dog, this motherfucker gonna piss all over the house. He gonna shit all over the house.
Get an
No.
adult.
Train it.
He's
Yeah.
gonna shed. Like
Hypoallergenic dogs.
when I travel, I'm gonna have to find somebody to watch him or put him in the kennel, and it's another responsibility that I don't want to take on.
Okay, I actually think that's a very mature way to look at it. I wanted you to get a dog, but there are responsibilities that go along with having a dog that you have to deal with. And you just named a lot of the big ones where it's like, okay, you're going out of town. Someone has to look after this dog while I'm gone.
Yeah,
But
sorry. I hate to pump fake y'all like that, but
but if you adopted like an old dog, a dog that was 2 or 3 years, not even necessarily old, but a grown dog, it already knows I can't pee in the house, I can't poop in the house.
uninterested in adoption.
Arian, you want to know something that'll upset you?
Absolutely, that's why I love to be upset.
So my parents' dogs, when they go out of town, they take them to a kennel that calls itself a pet resort,
Makes sense. Yeah.
and they get a little bungalow that sometimes I think they get the ones that have a TV in it, and they play like movies of dogs, and then they have cameras where you can watch your dog play out in the little play area. And they post Facebook updates of what your dog is doing with pictures.
That's what I do with my daughter in daycare, bro. It's insane.
I
They
get a
send
daily
videos and pictures, and there's
Mhm.
cameras you can check in on them. That's fucking
Yep.
crazy.
I get a daily pup date about Blake whenever
Love that.
he's at daycare right now. Let's see what Blake's doing.
PFT's the one that taught me about dog TV.
Oh yeah, there's dog TV where you can turn on a TV channel and it's got like dogs running around playing with squeaky toys, and you just put it on in the room with your dog, and then your dog hopefully watches TV. Some dogs watch it. Blake watches TV sometimes.
Oh my god, my dog watches TV all the time.
Yeah, some dogs don't. So here's Blake's pup date right now. Looks like he's playing the Let's Bite Each Other's Face game with this one dog right here. And then looks like he got tired and laid down. And then now he's playing more Bite Each Other's Face game. Good day at the factory for Blake. I tell him that he's going to work. That's a good dog. I would feel awesome if I was that surfer. If I was the only person to ever be attacked by a killer whale and I survived, I would feel awesome about that.
That's wild.
Yeah, but like you're the only dude that it's ever happened to.
Yeah,
Like what a stroke of shitty luck.
Imagine how laid he's gotten off that story.
Yeah,
It makes me
fair
think it was
enough.
him.
Oh, interesting.
It's your fault. What did
Yeah.
you do to piss the orc off?
Yeah, if you're the only one,
You're the only one, my guy.
I would get that bite tattooed on my leg. I would be all about Orcas now. I call myself the Orca Man, lone survivor.
You know what would be a fucking sick tattoo to get on the place you got bit? 19,000.
What's that?
That's the pounds per square inch of the orca bite.
Yep, good tattoo.
Just
Yeah, that'd be dope.
19K right there.
That'd be
real-
dope, actually.
Real quick, the last thing about orcas that we'll touch on, because they are fascinating creatures, and I really want to see a sports team named after the orcas.
I do
Football team, black uniforms, white designs around the shoulder pads. You get a cool like orca eye thing on your helmet.
That's hard. I'm in.
You know what I'm gonna do?
Oh my god, that would be awesome.
I can't promise, but by next week, but in 2 weeks, give me 2 weeks. I will make a team builder on NCAA of the Orlando Orcas, and it's gonna be fucking sick.
Okay. All
I
right.
see that.
Yeah.
God, I wish instead of the Commanders, we should have just been the Orcas.
The Utah hockey team. Do they have a name yet?
Yeti.
No,
Oh.
they're just the Utah Hockey Club for this year, and then they're still working. Yetis was one of them.
Yeah.
One of it was just like Utah Hockey Club, or like they were just gonna keep that.
Yeah.
I hate that.
There was one
I
that
like
was
that actually. That's kind of dope.
the Yeti is a good name. Like having a giant hairy snowman.
Could have a cool logo.
Yeah. DC Orca would be sweet. Really botched that one. But yeah, make the team.
I will.
Orlando Orca.
I'm actually going to DC this weekend.
Oh, what are you doing?
I got a homeboy out there. So play some golf. Enjoy the city. I don't really plan much.
Do you know where you're playing
I
at?
also got some business, huh?
Do you know where you're gonna play?
No, my homeboy's setting it up.
Okay.
So excited about that.
All right, sweet. Have fun.
Thanks, man.
You're gonna go to the Commanders game?
No,
You don't want to see Commanders against Giants?
not particularly.
Oh, that's disgusting. They should pay you to go to that.
The one thing I did want to mention about the orcas, there's a native tribe that has a old fable or folks tale, however you want to say it, about why humans and orcas, and there's been no orca attacks. And they said a long time ago, in the beginning of, I'm gonna butcher this shit, so excuse me. Quackawaku, I don't know. History. There was a time in man where killer whale did not live in harmony. At this time, both man and whales hunted each other. It was a time of fear and great pain between both groups. There was a young boy from Matigla tribe who treated the whales kindly and eventually befriended the whales. In these ancient times, the whales and the boy could communicate, and they were able to discuss what their concerns were. The whales and the boy felt that when they hunted each other, their losses were too great, and they needed to end this heartache. So when the whales and the boy made a promise, so the whales and the boys made a promise that they would no longer hunt each other and have common respect. They also thought it was important to help each other in times to come. So they discussed this arrangement, and the boy brought these plans back to his people. So there it is.
I like that.
That's just sweet. Obviously not true, but it's very sweet.
I mean, if you didn't have access to like all the information we have, and it's back in like 500 BC, and you're out at the ocean and you see a fucking killer whale jump out of the water, you're probably like, "That's God." That's the most beautiful creature that I've ever seen in my entire life.
Facts.
I'm gonna worship that thing. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna make a carving out of it, and I'm gonna put a pole up in my village, just acknowledging this beautiful thing that I saw.
Lit dog.
So since May 2020, we've had some issues of orcas allegedly attacking boats. We've seen this in the news. There have been around 600 sailboats off the coast of the Iberian Peninsula, that's where Spain and Portugal is, that have been hit by orcas. 600 boats, at least 5 have sunk. There are about 40 attacks in summer 2024. That's only up to July. There was an encounter in May off the northwestern coast of Morocco, right there, and it was the first sinking of 2024. The crew of 2 were rescued by a nearby tanker after the 50-foot boat began rapidly taking on water. The orcas did not attack the people after they fell into the water or as the boat sank. They were just going after the boat. Left-wing social media users memed the attacks as orcas taking a stand against humans for destroying the planet, or they portrayed it as orcas doing anti-capitalistic praxis by attacking wealthy people who own boats.
They are woke.
They might be woke.
The ultra
You know
woke.
what? You know what happened.
What?
You said this started in May of 2020?
Yep.
They got vaxxed.
And it went to their heads.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went insane.
Crazy.
They went nuts. Following years of research, there was a team of biologists, government officials, and marine industry representatives. They released their findings. It turns out that orcas, the kids and the teens, just want to have fun. The report was that a combination of free time, curiosity, and natural playfulness has led to young orcas adopting this trend of boat bumping, which is not at all surprising for a species that has been known to adopt odd, isolated behaviors from time to time. So they are bored. They're swimming around the water for 80 years, and they see this boat come by, and they're like, the human body craves contact. They just want to put the shoulder pads. It's like what you say when teams are in training camp. Like, they've been hitting each other.
Ready to hit somebody else.
They want to hit somebody else. They see something else come in the water. Come on. Oklahoma drill. Orclahoma drill. No orca over the age of 25. That was bad. That was bad.
Should the team builder be the Orlando Orcas or the Oklahoma Orcas since it's college?
I like Oklahoma Orcas better than Sooner. The fuck is a Sooner?
Well, that's like it's a historical thing.
I would argue that Orcas were here before Sooners.
Well, no, they were there sooner. That's where it comes from, right? Like we were here sooner.
That's two duds, man.
I think it's
I think it has something to do with that. The first one was really bad, really bad. Like I should resign. If I had accountability, if this was a meritocracy, after saying that, I should face consequences.
It was a dad joke. It wasn't horrible, man.
Yeah,
I think it has to be Orlando just because sea life.
SeaWorld.
That makes sense. There's not a lot of orcas in Oklahoma.
Right.
Yeah. Orlando, I mean, Seattle would be good too.
I may need to pay somebody on Twitter to make a sick logo for this team.
How much you paying?
I'm sure somebody would do that for $20.
What about Oakland? The Oakland Orca.
They do
Oakland
black and white and silver.
Yeah.
And it's vacant too since the Raiders is in Las Vegas.
Yeah, they play at the Coliseum.
Well, this our football team will not be playing at the Coliseum. That's
I like that.
We're
I like
new
that.
stadium.
I like that the owner has made that decision preemptively.
Yeah, we're not playing at that shithole.
That was one of the worst places I've ever played. I hated that fucking stadium.
It's wild to think that just 15 years ago, we had stadiums that were baseball fields.
I loved those games.
Fields. Oh, it was great to watch on TV.
It did look cool, but falling on that shit hurt like a motherfucker, dog. It was rocks. There was rocks in the motherfucking. There was rocks.
Yeah, you'd be running and making a cut, and then you're going from the outfield to the infield dirt.
So I think you played when the Dolphins still played in the same stadium as the Marlins, right?
Don't know. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, I don't.
To really play.
I don't think we played at Hard Rock. Yeah, I don't think we played at Hard. The last Texas game I played. What was the last Texas game I played? Was at Miami actually.
No, but
tore my Achilles.
When you were on Miami.
Well, no, not by then. The Marlins moved into their new stadium in 2012. So up to 11, they were still playing. The Marlins were still playing at what is now Hard Rock Stadium.
Okay, yeah. So I don't think because I remember there being just grass on that game. But Oakland, both times I played in Oakland, that shit was dirt.
What about for kickers?
I don't care about kickers.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, having kickers kick off dirt, that's a big change. That's a big difference.
I don't know. Do your job. That's what I would say to kickers.
Do your job. Don't fumble the ball. Don't be on Wikipedia.
Hey, that's just from a hater, dog. You know what I mean? That's okay. You need those in life.
Who should be the Wikipedia entry for fumbles?
I don't know. I'll be that though. That's okay. You know what I'm saying? I had a great life, lived a great NFL football career. Hey man,
if it's any consolation, there's 4 dudes tackling you in the picture. It's not like you just whoopsie daisied it on your own.
I think I broke my collarbone on that play.
Oh my God.
If I'm not mistaken, I broke my collarbone on that play.
Can we try to get that picture on the Wikipedia entry for broken collarbone? I would do 2 things.
It would help my case.
It would, yeah.
He fumbled. Sure. I mean, he broke his collarbone.
We should get it on everything for tackle, Houston Texans.
Yeah. Arian, now, to be fair, you did carry that damn ball like a loaf of bread.
Oh, 1,000%. Oh yeah.
People just don't talk about it that much because LaShawn McCoy carried the ball like more of a loaf of bread than you did at the
He
same
was
time.
worse than me, but me and him were in the same category of don't do this.
Yeah.
1,000%. Tuck
And
that thing.
I don't think either one of you guys fumbled that much, but it just looked like you were going to fumble all the time.
Yeah, but I always tell my coaches, man, like they get paid on the other side of the ball too, man. You got 11 dudes going after that thing every play. You gonna let that thing fly every now and then. It happens.
How did you like hold the ball into your arm if you were doing the loaf of bread thing?
Well, I cupped it. I have really big hands, and so it wrapped around the ball very well. And so like I would do it like this, but I can get loose with my body. I allowed it to get loose. And also it was a balance thing. Like people don't understand like that's how you balance a lot. And so for this shit here, you're not gonna do nothing athletic like this. High and tight. You can't run like that. The body was meant to be loose. And so I used to get loose with it, but in traffic, I was really good at that, keeping it close.
Yeah. Loaf of bread. Why do they call it loaf of bread?
I don't know, because it's not really how you'd carry a loaf of bread.
That's not. When I have a loaf of bread, I'm very protective of it.
Yeah,
I have
probably
6
more
points of
careful
contact
with
on my
loaf of
loaf of
than I
bread.
was a football.
I'm like,
Oh,
you're
I
not taking this loaf of bread from
Carry
me.
it by the little top.
By the top of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just let it dangle?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not how you carry bread. Like when you just have it in your hand. I'm still going to say it, though, because it's fun to say. So the orca that were fucking around with the boats, none of them were over the age of 25. So they were all like teenagers and young adult males. And turns out they were just fucking around. They were trying to bite on the boats. There's been a dramatic recovery in the population of bluefin tuna in that region. So about 40 critically endangered Iberian killer whales that feed exclusively on the large fish are back. They've cut down their time spent foraging, leaving space for other hobbies. So they're exercising more and eating less. Climate change could be they're getting in shape. Climate change could be playing a role. The scientists said the year-round abundance means that there appears to no longer be a need for the whales to pursue every fish that they encounter. So it's not like they see a fish, time to eat. It's just like, okay, we have more time for leisure. So I don't think that the killer whales are attacking the boats because they hate us. That's good news. They're just overfed and they're happy.
Yeah. I actually talked about this on the podcast about, I'll say 3-4 months ago.
Yeah. They're just happy.
Yeah.
They're just happy and they're not stressed out about finding the next meal. All right. Well, that was macrodosing on killer whales and a lot of other various things.
Good range today.
Great range today. Shannon Sharpe. By the time this episode comes out, he'll have a statement about it.
Well, he deleted his statement. He was hacked.
Was that hacked? Did the hacker also issue a statement saying he was hacked?
Could be.
This could be a great hacker.
That's a solid move by a hacker, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that actually would be. You deserve to win at that point.
Yeah. All right, so we will see you guys next week on Macrodosing. See you guys on Tuesday. Love you guys.
See you next Tuesday.
Yeah, some would say. Australians would.